bom com vocês? Eu acho que o áudio da musiquinha tá meio alto. E a minha voz tá baixa. E aí, gozada, como vocês estão? E aí, Sombra, e Scout, e Moisés? Já bora colocar aqui no telãozinho. Ai, tá estranho, não tem uma musiquinha de fundo, né, gente? Deixa eu colocar um lo-fi aqui. Eu parei de pagar meu Spotify, então vai ter a carta propaganda se eu colocar, então eu vou pôr no YouTube. Eu tô bem, estou aí numa saga de voltar a jogar Magic pra curtir essa coleção. Apesar de que, gente, eu tô pra fazer um vídeo com os valores. Eu quero fazer um vídeo com as novas artes, porque saíram várias, só que elas estão meio espalhadas pela internet, sabe? Então, eu tenho que caçar tudo. Então, eu tô pra fazer um vídeo. Peraí, Emil. Sobe aí, Emil. Um vídeo reagindo às novas artes, às cartas que apareceram. Eu não sei se vai aparecer no vídeo de hoje, né? Pra gente poder reagir. E também eu vi os preços e aí eu queria fazer um vídeo mesmo que curtinho pra comentar com vocês, sabe? Vai se perder no Magic? Não totalmente. Porque eu só quero ter a minha coleçãozinha de Final Fantasy. Então eu quero ter um deckzinho, sabe? Mas eu não quero comprar outras. Eu quero ter o meu deckzinho. Mas eu quero saber jogar pra poder ter meu deckzinho. Ah, é verdade, tem o Arena, ótimo. Então, eu tô com... Pra vocês terem uma ideia, eu peguei algumas cartas minhas pra vender. E aí eu peguei cartas minhas velhas, cartas do Andro velhas, cartas que estavam naquele fichário porque eu achava a arte bonitinha, e até mesmo cartas do meu deck de cavaleiros. Tudo pra vender. Separei, vi o que valia a pena vender ou não, e vendi. Só que agora eu tenho um deck de cavaleiros desmontado, né? Não tá mais completo. E eu ganhei um kit inicial do Araújo na BGS do ano, tipo... Não é nem retrasado, é retrasado. Porque foi antes da BGS que o Yoshida veio. E ainda tá fechadinho. Um é branco e azul. E o outro é vermelho e verde. É um kit inicial que tem um rato na capa. Parece um rato pra mim. Ah, no YouTube, na Twitch já tá rolando?
この瞬間が訪れることを心待ちにしていました。
Ok, deixa pra lá.
まず最初に一言だけ言わせてください。本セットを期待や情熱を持って心待ちにしてくださったすべての方へ本当にありがとうございます。マジック、そしてファイナルファンタジーに愛を注いでくださったすべての皆様のおかげで今日という特別な日を迎えることができました。昨年10月の先行公開映像、今年2月のファーストルックとここまで長い旅路を共に歩んできましたが、ついに本日さらなる情報を皆様にお届けいたします。このセットはマジックとファイナルファンタジーを愛し続け、お互いが真剣に向かい続けたからこそこの素晴らしい形にできたものだと思っています。今回でファイナルファンタジーシリーズに初めて触れるマジックファンの皆様、このセットに登場するカードたちはファイナルファンタジーのストーリーやキャラクターらしさをしっかりと捉えた上で、ファタジーのストーリーやキャラクターらしさをしっかりと捉えた上で、マジックのルールの中で再構築されています。たとえファイナルファンタジーを知らなくてもマジックでの冒険をお楽しみいただけるはずです。そしてマジックに初めて触れるというファイナルファンタジーファンの皆様、プレイされたことがない方は RPG でパーティーを組むイメージをしてください。マジックにおけるデッキは RPG のパーティーの同じで、ちょっと工夫を加えるだけでどんな相手にも有効な戦術を見出すことができます。ぜひお近くの店舗などに足を運んでみてください。きっとお気に入りの1枚が見つかるはずです。そして最後は私のような両方のゲームを愛する方へ、もうすぐ私たちが夢に見た瞬間が訪れます。皆様大変お待たせいたしました。 It's showtime! Let's step into the world of Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy!
Vanstar! A gente quer ver Final Fantasy? Magic? Não, a gente quer ver o Bem-Estar!
It's time to meet the team. He's a principal game designer on Magic the Gathering. You might know him at best as the host of Good Morning Magic. He's also been the lead designer on sets like Battle Bond, Mystery Booster, and most recently of all, oh yes, Final Fantasy. He is Gavin VIII!
Ele falando, oh yeah. Cara, eu não tanco.
Oh, thank you.
Mano, eu quero ver mais as cartas do 14, apesar de já terem mostrado várias. Aquela do Rio de Brand.
Fantasy IX. Some true fans in the house out here tonight.
The war starts here. Okay, our next panelist is known for his work as the product architect of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, Universes Beyond Fallout, Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed, and Bloomborough. He is also the executive producer of Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. He is the one and only Zakiel Gordon.
Tudo bem, Sombra. O que importa é as imagenzinhas que eles vão mostrar.
What's your favorite Final Fantasy?
My favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy X.
Gente, alguém me passa o link da Twitch, pelo amor de Deus, o YouTube tá muito cagado.
Did Final Fantasy X get a bigger shout out than Final Fantasy IX? Can I hear my 9 fans again? Can I hear my 9 fans? Can I hear my 10 fans?
Meu Deus, eu vi umas cartas que vocês colocaram ali.
That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Okay. Next up, he's a senior game designer of Magic the Gathering, probably best known for his work on Kamigawa Neon
Dynasty. Pode, tem
He's
4 cartas diferentes do encontro do Cloud. Isso é real?
He is the lead game designer for Final Fantasy Commander
Ou é
decks.
meme?
He is Daniel Holt.
Deixa ele, pode gostar o que quiser.
What's up, Kupo?
Não vai ter carta de Final Fantasy não numerado, Sombra. Infelizmente não vamos ter nada de Type Zero nem tático. Oh, fuck.
What is your favorite Final Fantasy?
Cacho me mandou.
Like Zakiel, it is Final Fantasy X-2. That is 10,2.
Girls trip for life, baby.
Eu acho que eu consigo pegar em algum
Right,
lugar.
here we go. He's principal narrative game designer for Universes Beyond Creative Team. He's worked on Fallout Commander decks, leads the upcoming Avatar The Last Airbender set, and was the narrative lead for Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. It's Dylan Devaney.
Oh my gosh, look at everyone. Game is none other than Final Fantasy IV. Yeah, look at that, I love it. That's right.
Abri aqui o negócio na Twitch. Eu tô só esperando o comercial passar.
Final Fantasy I. The Magna Carta of video games, something that quite literally changed the landscape of gaming forever. Dylan, tell us the story.
When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come.
Meu Deus, 3 vidas de comercial.
This is the beginning of the genre-defining game that started it all. Final Fantasy I features the prophesized Warriors of Light as they embark on this adventure across time and space. Right, as the player, you can select from 4 of 6 possible jobs to become your Warriors of Light. And your first deadly challenge as the Warriors of Light are to take on none other than Garland, Knight of Cornelia.
Consigo abrir aqui?
Consegui,
moleque! Mano, essa arte do Kevka tá linda. E eu tô em cima dele, espera.
But they incidentally create a paradoxical time loop that puts them in the deadly foes of none other
agora o comercial tá em
chaos.
cima.
Chaos!
This game lays the foundation for many of the iconic elements we're going to see across all of the 16 mainline games. Things like prophecies and crystals, the job system, overworld exploration, random encounters, leveling up, high-stakes adventures, airships, you name it. This is where we firmly plant our foot and decide this is what Final Fantasy is going to become.
So, Gavin, jobs and
olha só
classes.
esse Black Mage, que fofinho.
Yeah, we knew from the very beginning we needed to have a way to show off the jobs of Final Fantasy. And we talked about it for a long time and came up with the idea of a brand new mechanic it looks a little like an older mechanic called the job select. So this shows up on equipment throughout the set. And when the equipment comes into play, you make a 1/1 hero token, and then you attach the equipment to it. So if you know Magic,
não, é a Nashu.
Weapon,
Sim,
a
Nashu, ela carrega bombas. É muito bom.
Eu
adoro a Nashu.
Now, they all confer abilities, as you can see, that are really keen to what the class is doing. The white mage staff heals you, the black mage's rod pings your opponent. But the other thing that's worth calling out in particular is they also confer the type that class or job has. So the white mage's staff turns you into a cleric, the black mage's rod turns you into a wizard, and so on. Just has a little flavor nod happening right there. We grabbed all the job select cards in this set from Final Fantasy I and Final Fantasy XIV, which you might see some of later.
Calma.
Oh, what a tease. Thank you all four of you, but I do believe it is time to meet the last member of our panel. She is an art director on Magic the Gathering. She's worked on Universes Beyond.
É o YouTube, deixa eu tirar ele. E a gente vem aqui e cadê a Twitch? Meu Deus. Aqui.
I was already obsessed with their iconic character designs. It was influence on my own journey as an artist and deepened my love for video games. So I think you'll all agree that it wouldn't be Final Fantasy if we didn't include art from the legendary Yoshitaka Amano. And what better way to celebrate his influence and incredible talent than his original Cloud Sea Djinn? This incredible piece is featured in a showcase frame you've seen before. The transparent frame allows us to show off the art with minimal distractions from mechanics and text. You can really immerse yourself and truly appreciate the details of Amano's marketing and masterful washi.
Claro que eu reclamei.
This piece is a great example of his iconic style, especially with the incredible way he balances negative space.
É por causa que aquela arte da Yuffie no fundo branco era muito genérica, mas qualquer arte do Amano pra mim é válida.
Cascading around the party and spilling into the clouds around them. The card also isn't anything to sneeze at. Nyx Bloom Ancient is a flashy card that is a dream for any Stompy deck.
Thank you. We are going to be hearing from Stephanie throughout the show, and now we are underway. We are done with one. Let's move on to Final Fantasy II. This is a more high fantasy, expanding and iterating on the ideas that were laid down in one, without many radical changes. Sakil, take us through this.
Yeah, absolutely. So Final Fantasy II is tonally very similar in creative tone.
Mano, olha a cartinha do filho!
Cadê o meu gato? Which is based on your proficiency as you wield weapons in battle and gain experience throughout the game. So, it only makes sense for the main character of Final Fantasy II, Firion, to interact with equipment. So let's take a look. Firion is a 3-mana 3/3 that equipped creatures you control have haste, and whenever another equipment comes into the battlefield, you create a copy of that, and it has the ability to cost 2 less to equip. So we just showed you White Mage's Rod. If you have this in play and cast that, not only do you get another copy of that equipment, but you also get another 1/1 hero. And then similarly,
a arte do Amano aí, eu falei, mano.
The next card on our Final Fantasy Through the Ages bonus sheet is SRAM. Red White, of course, is a prolific archetype within Magic, revolving around equipment, and we think this is a brand new way to be able to collect beautiful artwork by Yoshitaka Amano and play both of these copies of Firion alongside each other on the battlefield.
Thank you very much. And also, thank you for everyone here right now who's oohing and ahhing in exactly the right place.
Eu já tô até vendo quando chegar no Final Fantasy XVI o bem-estar.
Thank you so much. I am eager to see more
zoando porque vai aparecer
I am as eager as a beaver. Gavin, explain yourself.
All right, so I want to give a big shout out to Yanni Skalnick, who led the early vision design of the set. And when he handed it off to me, there's a card in there called Commune with Beavers. And I was like, Yanni, you gotta tell me what's going on with this card. And he told me the story about talking with beavers, get the information that you need. And I was like, we have to preserve this. So it stayed the whole way through the entire life cycle of this set. Now, to me, this is a great blending of Magic and Final Fantasy. Because a commune spell in Magic looks like your top few cards for a card, and so it kind of blends the flavor of Final Fantasy, the name Commune Beavers, with a magic effect, where of course it looks like your top few cards for a beaver or any other creature you might want to have around. So just a simple little common, but kind of gets at the whimsy that Final Fantasy has, right? There's a lot of epic fights and incredible monsters, and also sometimes just guy speaks beaver, you know? And that's the important part of this moment here on this card.
I like to think that we all speak beaver.
Mano, é muito bom ver arte de personagem que você não tá acostumado a ver. Tipo Guy.
We're moving on from 2 to guess what? Number 3. Final Fantasy III. It's worth remembering that both 2 and 3 didn't release in the US until years later. But there is one thing that kind of remains true, which is the defining iconography of the crystals.
Yeah, I'm really happy you brought up crystals. We're going to talk about crystals a lot throughout the show, and it is a signature element of Final Fantasy. So in Final Fantasy III, our characters are going to go on a journey. The Onion Knights that become the Warriors of Light go on a journey to bring balance to the elemental crystals across the land, just as the Golden People prophesied. And so we were talking about how we were going to bring this element into Magic the Gathering, and we decided that, well, there's 4 elemental crystals, and there are the dark crystals in the malevolent world of darkness. Perhaps we smell a cycle. So let's take a little bit more look at the darkness crystal. Daniel, I want to hear about the tiny crystals you see here.
Yeah, as Dylan mentioned, crystals are so prominent within Final Fantasy that it only made sense when working on the set symbol that was the first spot we went. You'll see the Chocobo later in Commander. We'll talk about that when we get there. But you can see this rarity symbol here is the crystal. Gavin, you want to talk about the card?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as was mentioned earlier, yeah, well, there's the nice booster fun version. And by the way, I was about to say, there's 5 crystals in the set, 1 for each color, and they all have a cool booster fun version like this you can go collect. Now, they are a 5-card cycle, 1 for each color. They all cost 4 mana. They're all legendary artifacts. They all make spells of that color cost 1 less. But the rest of them is a little unique depending on what that crystal does. They've got a big activated ability of some kind, a cool static ability. I'll let all of you start speculating now, but the crystals, you're going to want to try and get all of them on your side.
So, Gavin, earlier you mentioned starting towns. I believe right now you have a new land
que é da Aura City do 14.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, if you're playing Final Fantasy, there's these huge epic battles, but you also want some simple little concepts, especially common, like this Adventurer's Inn. So this is a brand new land subtype. This is a town. You'll find towns all throughout the set in Final Fantasy, many places and locations that you end up at. If you've played Ravnica before, it's kind of like Gates, where there are some cards that key into what towns do. It doesn't have any inherent meaning. And there's a lot of lands ranging from simple commons all the way up to rares. And maybe, just maybe, we might see a rare one later on. But here you go, a nice little Adventurer's Inn. Of course, what would an inn do? But give you back a couple life. Take a nice rest. If you've got the money for it, get those 2 life.
Vão recebendo a SMR de abrindo cartinha e eslivando ela.
Final Fantasy IV. Dylan, you have been waiting for this moment.
Yes, I have. Thank you also. I really love that, and I needed that, so thank you. So yes, I would love to talk about my personal favorite Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy IV holds a very, very special place in my heart, because I think it was the first time I really discovered what narrative game design was and the power of the medium when I was very, very young on my Super Nintendo. The journey that Cecil goes through, starting as a Dark Knight, wielding very wicked power in service to the potentially corrupt King of Baron. He goes on this journey of redemption to become a paladin of light. And we were talking about this story, and I was telling Gavin, I was like, listen, this story meant a lot to me because in the game, right, you have this amazing Dark Knight sprite, you go to Mount Ordeals, you claim your sword, and you become a paladin, and then you have to fight yourself in this 1v1 battle to come to terms with your darkness, slay your inner evils, and truly become a paladin. And so this story was so important to me personally. It's something that made me fall in love with Final Fantasy, and it was a story that we, I think, did a pretty good job of.
Yeah, and you know, we brought the story to life. We're trying to figure out how to tell this story, and one of the tools we have in this set are double-sided cards. Right? So you see these double-faced cards here with Cecil, where he starts off as the Dark Knight and then transforms into the Redeemed Paladin. Final Fantasy has so many moments for villains and heroes alike where they undergo these great transformations, and there's several double-faced cards in the set that do just that, where you get to see the characters evolve before your very eyes. And also on screen here, you'll see that gorgeous booster fun version of Cecil, which is really, really, really neat. And I'm so glad we were able to capture this. I was inspired by Death's Shadow, if any Magic players out there know that card, to make a card that dealt damage to you, and then eventually it flips over, be a 4/4 lifelinker, and start gaining that life right on back. But Cecil is not the only card.
Eita, olha esse Caim. Eu achei um Caim estranho, vou ser bem sincera. Achei o cabelo dele meio estranho,
only card that we wanted to design from Final Fantasy IV, and a character that posed a lot of trouble for me was
Lógico que ele ia ter jump, né?
I kept trying to design Cain, I could not figure out how to do it.
Durante
and then one day,
seu turno, Caim vai estar voando.
I was like, Gavin, I don't want to snoop in. I don't want to step on your toes, but I really like this game. I really like this character. I have a pitch that I'm going to send you. And he was very nice enough to read it. He went over it. And he looked at me and was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we kind of moved forward to trying to capture one of game's most complicated story elements. If you are a fan of this game, or if you played this game, you felt the same heartbreak and betrayal that I did when you went up into that boss battle and you're like, wait, what do you mean he left my party? What do you mean he's fighting for Golbez? Where is he going? And so we wanted to capture that sense at the table when you play it. So I had this idea, maybe he defects, maybe he passes around. You know, there is the story of the treasure tokens being the crystals you're collecting. I was very happy with it. And Gavin was kind enough to link it into the rest of the file, which I'm very appreciative, by the way.
And I want to call out, this is Dylan's first ever Magic card published, so big hand for Dylan right here.
Mano, teu adversário consegue controlar o Caim, que nem o Golbez fazia.
As a card, that's pretty cool.
Right, let's move on. It's time for Final Fantasy V. And whilst we do...
Cara, vagabunda tendo Magic.
Okay, good for you. That's nice. Not many, but good for you.
Eu achei estranho como ele ficou.
As we head on to Final Fantasy V, obviously a very, very beloved game, I want us to take a step back and figure out, well, explain to us how you arrived at the overall shape of this set.
So that's a monumental question and a very good one of how did we fit 16
Vocês apostam no quê? Vai estar Bartz ou Bartz? Eu aposto no Bartz.
One set. There are a lot of characters, there's a lot of stories, there are a lot of games, magic, spells, items, abilities, lands, adventures, quests, mini-games, songs, and how do we put it all into one thing? We needed something early on to help make decisions. So
Calma, não
if you can
morre.
imagine
O André
the
tá
four of us
surfando
in a
com a
room at the
expectativa de
Wizards
ver
of
as
the Coast
cartas do
office
11.
with a locked door, we made a conspiracy board on the wall, we opened up an Excel sheet, we got the whiteboard, and we wrote down every game, and we just said, okay,
porque eu já sou traumatizada com os personagens vagabundos do Tactics, e além de me trair, leva meus itens.
And we did that for 2, 3, all the way up for every single game. And then when we were done with that, weeks later, we went to our fellow wizards in the office, and I asked everyone the same intense line of questioning. And then when we were done with that, weeks later, we went to Square Enix, and we talked to the game producers and the designers and the developers, and we were like, what were you very proud of with your game? What is very special about the title that you worked on? What is the thing that you would want everyone to see once again? And once we had all of that, we were able to start our process. So from there, we kind of made this internal tier system, tiers 1, 2, and 3, to help us make decisions. These weren't like, oh, these are the best and these are the worst. These are just, we need to make some decisions along the way. Some characters will be here, some characters won't be here. So tier 1, we decided was, these are the things that have to be here. These are the DNA of Final Fantasy. So Chocobos, MOOGLE'S, they absolutely have to be there. You expect to see them, so you're gonna see them. Tier 2 are the, hey, if you're a fan of a very specific game, you're going to recognize it. Maybe it's an iconic game, or an NPC
mas ele
that
também
you really fell
ama
in love
Final
with,
Fantasy XI.
or
No
a
meu
super
caso,
boss
sou
you spend many
extremamente fã
hours
do Final
losing
Fantasy
against, like
VII,
me.
mas eu
And
amo
then
muito
tier 3
XIV.
was
Então,
the
assim,
super
7
duper
e 14
crunchy
são meus
deep cut.
favoritos.
This is for
Eu
the
diria que o
nerds.
9 e o 11
No way
são
we
seus
spent
favoritos,
time and money
mano.
to get that in. Yes, we did. We had to do that. And so I really look forward to all of you,
É
and
que
I
o 11 é
challenge all of you to go
mais
through and find the
nostalgia
tier
pra você,
3s
né?
that we snuck in there across the set.
Okay, then, Dylan.
A do Gilgamesh! Master at Arms.
Which tier is this cheeky
Mano,
boy
eu
in?
espero ter monte de armas com o
Gilgamesh is clearly the top
isso
tier. This is a recurring villain who plays kind of the comic relief in the game. He has a passion for weapons, and that's exactly what his card does. It's a Titanic ability. If you're familiar with Magic, a Titan ability is enters and attacks. He searches for those equipment. He looks at the top 6 cards of your library, gets all of those equipment onto the battlefield. And then you pick one of them, it keeps going. One of them goes for free onto any samurai you control, whether it's from Kamigawa, whether it's Gilgamesh himself, snaps onto that samurai and gets to fighting.
Thank you so much for the ooze again.
Mano, sensacional. O que eu falei? Preciso de armas. Ele pega equipamentos. Sensacional, filho da puta que fica roubando minhas.
So for the Universes Beyond program, one of my favorite things is we get to tailor each set based on the IP and audience that we're working with. So our language to you as Magic players and as Final Fantasy fans is through the lens of design. Now, internally we have this thing called a design, a complexity dial that kind of goes from 1 to 5, with 1 being kind of our intro level products, and 5 being our more complex products like a Horizon set. Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy is a little bit higher on that dial, specifically because you all as video game players and specifically RPG fans already innately understand a lot of aspects of game development. We don't have to explain the idea of health or mana or damage or items or party configuration or the difference between a glass cannon versus a tank. So internally, we just really had the rule of cool to make sure that we made the best versions of each character, went through Magic's archives to bring back all of the most awesome mechanics that pay off all of your favorite moments. So the best example of that is in Bartz and Boko. And Bartz and Boko
Mano,
have a
ele vai
very
vir que nem
interesting
cavaleiro,
ability.
né? Afinidade com pássaros. Essa spell custa a menos pra castar. Pra cada pássaro que você controla. Mano, você vai poder ter um deck de Chocobos.
Perhaps there is a Chocobo deck that you can build.
Me chame de Bartz. Eu e meu Chocobo vamos pra qualquer lugar que a trilha nos levar.
Yeah, I gotta say, in our internal testing, I was always on Team Birds. I figured you can take like your Bloomburrow birds and your Chocobos and put them together to make a cool deck. So count me in as a bird fan. Go Birds.
Just as a vibe check, have we got any bird fans in the audience?
Bird fans, claro.
I like you so much. Okay, moving on.
Covardia.
Final Fantasy VI.
De Butts? Não, tem maneira. Chamar de Butts, cara.
That was pretty quiet. That was pretty quiet.
I said, sorry, I don't think you heard me. I said Final Fantasy VI.
É Commander. Não consigo colocar as cartas no meu deckzinho.
Daniel, Final Fantasy VI is the first of 4 games that have Commander decks. Is that correct?
That's true. We get to talk about Commander. This is the first of 4 Commander decks. Commander decks, if you're not familiar, are 100-card pre-constructed decks. When you buy this deck, it will be completely themed around Final Fantasy VI, as the other games when we get to them. This deck specifically, we focused on the second half of the Final Fantasy VI game to set you up for story. Kefka just won, the world's in ruin, all your party members are scattered across the land, and you're going to gather them back up, form your party, get the gang back together, and go take down Kefka. And that's exactly what Terra here does. Her trance ability, when she attacks, she'll get an evasive so she can connect in, but she's also going to fill your graveyard with your party members and friends. Then when she connects, you're going to bring them back, you're going to get the party together, and you're going to go conquer Kefka.
Chocobos muito marombeiros. Pô,
do you want to show us a little bit how
alguma coisa sobre Chocobo vermelho. Meu Deus!
Well, it wouldn't be Final Fantasy without summons.
Do bagulho, desse pássaro.
Qual o nome dele? É o...
A gente teve no 14.
These are both creatures and sagas. So you'll get your creature out. Summon Esper Valagramande, has haste, so it'll attack right away. But as the turns pass, you'll tick down, get those abilities. The first one, you're going to be pulling resources from all graveyards, all those non-creature spells. And over time, you're going to get mana to cast those spells. And at the end of the chapter, it's going to go away in an epic conclusion.
Valigarmanda, ele é um Esper do Final Fantasy VI, porém agora durante o Down Trail ele foi colocado como...
I like Terra Held of Hope, but here's the card. I think we've shown it. She looks pretty good,
cara. Essas artes são novas, inclusive. Não existiam elas. Ai, que susto, moço.
Thanks, Ben. You may have noticed that there is something very special about these 2 paintings. In our Final Fantasy Artist series, we've invited 9 incredible artists from Square Enix to illustrate any character from the Final Fantasy franchise. They were not limited to the series that they worked on, but invited to illustrate any character, especially ones that they have always wanted to paint. So not only are these painted by the one and only Yoshitaka Amano, but these are brand new paintings of Terra, never before seen until this Universes Beyond partnership. And without further ado, here's a special message from Amano himself.
André tá puto porque ele vai ter que gastar dinheiro. Oh, Amano, olha o homem!
Final Fantasy はね、やっぱりずっとやってきてるし。
Eu vi ele ano passado e ele me deu oi.
あ、こっちはもうね、なるべく非常識でやっていこうっていうことで、とらわれないで書きました。これはもう状況がもういっちゃってるんですよね。炎の中に入ってる。
Ano passado teve a exposição do Amano aí eu fui trabalhar como cosplayer no evento, eu tava de Helm.
いいんじゃないかなっていうイメージみたいなぼやっとしたものがあってそれを形にしていく、その行為が楽しいというか、まずその通常のティナは剣持ってて空挺がいっぱいいてっていうファイナルファンタジーの世界をちょっともう一回表現してみる。こっちの変身後の方は最初にキャラクター作った時以外はあんまり書いてないんですよね。あの時はもう少しこうデフォルメされてましたから、これはちょっとリアルにしたんですけど、
E aí, ele é quinto, Tupão?
Oh.
Ai, cara, olha essas do Kefka! Elas são lindas, desculpa o berro, gente. Eu vou surtar todo mundo aí. Nossa, meu sonho.
Magic と Final Fantasy のコラボレーション。
Atrás do...
楽しんでください。
Imagina uma sala com sofá colado assim na parede, colado na parede, vocês entenderam? Perto da parede, em cima do sofá, um quadro assim,
So if we're going to get art from Mono to put on our cards, we had better make some pretty awesome magic cards. And that's what you're seeing here with Terra. So on her front face, she comes down, she finds you an enchantment, one of those saga creatures, perhaps, something that she can summon. When it's time, you can flip her over to her other side, literally turn the card over to unlock Esper Terra. She copies an enchantment that you have and does something we've never done in Magic before, which lets you kind of set it on the chapter counter you want, get the abilities you want, and then it goes away. After her 4 chapters are done, she adds 10 mana to your pool, which for all you astute Magic fans in the audience, you might notice that she is green and red, and she starts adding white, blue, and black, which is, of course, the Esper color combination in Magic the Gathering. She flips back over to her front side, and then you can do it all over again. Plus, get that Enter's ability to grab another enchantment. A really powerful Magic card and really worthy of this incredible artwork.
All right. Dylan, please, would you bring us up to speed on the narrative of Final Fantasy VI?
So it sounds like we have a lot of Final Fantasy VI fans here in the audience today. But if you haven't played this wonderful game yet, I'm just going to spin you a picture so we can all understand what we're talking about here. So Final Fantasy VI is an epic told in 2 parts. The first half of the story revolves around the conflict between the Gestalian Empire and the Returners' resistance movement. It takes on a very classic shape of a Final Fantasy story, right? We're introduced to our many beloved cast of characters, like Terra, Celeste, Locke, and eventually we see them all come together, rally to battle against Kefka, one of video games' most iconic villains of all time. But of course, as the chosen heroes to save the world from the villain of this game, you would expect that when you go up against Kefka, you are victorious. But perhaps as Daniel alluded previously, something special about Final Fantasy VI is halfway through the game, you lose. And so, the second part of this game is about the world of ruin, where Kefka has become the ruler of all. He has become all-powerful and is the master of all magic.
Por ele ser palhaço, é o excesso de cores. Eu adoro a roupa do Kefka.
Eventually,
Kefka toda
Celeste, Terra come back
coloridona,
together,
sabe?
you rally everyone
Ela
to take on Kefka
a
one
mano
more
mesmo.
time and eventually conquer the ruler of ruin.
So, Gavin, do you want to take us through this card?
Yeah, this is a very special one.
Tem
Ben.
vários
so, of course,
terrenos.
featuring that
Tem
amazing
da,
artwork
tem de
by a mono, a blue,
Guru
black,
Guru
and red
Vulcano.
legend. When Kefka enters, you play a little mini game. Each player is going to discard some cards, and you get to draw some cards back up. Well, fitting of kind of the mini game aspect that Kefka has. But when it is time to go to the world of ruin, you can pay 8 mana. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent. The world gets a little ruined. And then you flip Kefka over. 5/7, flying. It can attack right away the turn you flip it over, of course, as long as it's been played for a turn. You hit your opponent, you draw 5 more cards, and then as long as Kefka's in play, whenever an opponent loses life, you draw that many cards. It is very hard to come back from getting hit by Kefka, just as it should be.
Okay, there you have it. Final Fantasies 1 through 6. We are halfway through our show, and we are going to give our incredible panelists a little break for a few minutes. So please give it up for our panelists. Thank you so much. Not you, Gavin. You stay here, you naughty boy. Right, friends. We're going to shake things up. We're going to play a little game I've been contractually obliged to call Summon the Numbers. Are you ready? Summon the Numbers is a game that's going to involve some guests. It's also going to involve you, and it's going to involve a lot of chaos. This has been a very slick show so far. This bit is going to destroy all of that.
You guys like chaos?
Mano, o Ben Sara é um ótimo apresentador. É impressionante, ele é bom.
Okay, I can't do this alone. I need some special guests. Let's get them out here. 2 teams, 4 special guests. The first guest is starting with our first team, a multiple championship title winner, a massive fan following, widely recognized catchphrase, Baby. This legendary professional wrestler from All Elite Wrestling has proven himself to be a generational entertainer. He's also a passionate gamer who's built a significant following with his gaming content. Please welcome Adam Cole.
His name is John Cena.
And joining him, she's a multimedia content creator who's passionate about Magic the Gathering, sharing her love for the game through gameplay reviews and box openings on Twitch and YouTube as she strives to make the MTG space more inviting for everyone. Outside of content creation, she's also an actor and enjoys building community both online and at events. Please welcome Talia Vess. Hey team, how you doing? You feeling good?
Very good.
Feeling very, very good. Very confident.
Yeah?
Very confident.
You think you're going to win?
Oh, I think it's a guarantee.
Absolutely.
I think it's an absolute guarantee.
Unfortunately, there's
like your confidence.
2 people standing in your way. The other team, this is who they're going to be facing. A professional wrestler from Canada. Is a founding member of All Elite Wrestling and is widely regarded as one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's entered the Tokyo Dome as Sephiroth or One-Winged Angel and has a theme song created by Masayashi Soken and Nobuo Uematsu, a passionate gamer and Final Fantasy lover. Give it up for Kenny Omega.
Tem muita loja que já avisou que vai ter a coleção. Inclusive, depois que eu comecei a pesquisar, eu tava até mostrando pro Moisés. Depois que eu comecei a pesquisar muito de Magic, como o meu algoritmo já tá acostumado com Final Fantasy, começou a aparecer um monte de propaganda de
And joining him, you know our next participant as Kimiko in Amazon's Emmy-nominated series The Boys, as well as David Litch's action thriller Bullet Train and David Ayer's Suicide Squad. She's also a robust voiceover actor, with most recently heard in Studio Ghibli's English dub of The Boy and the Heron as Lady Himi, and Amazon's animated reboot of Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, as well as the Netflix series She-Ra and Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts. Say hello to Karen Fukuhara.
Hello!
Wowee!
How's it going, PAX? Wow, look at this turnout.
Great. Do you feel incredible? Do you feel like you're going to win?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I mean, when they asked me who I wanted to team up with, they assumed, don't take this the wrong way, they thought I would want to team with you, Adam, but I've got a winning partner here.
We're going to make you eat those words later. Trust me. Trust me. We're winning this thing. We're winning this thing, baby. Let's go.
I'm watching you.
Olha, estou tentando providenciar, Jake. Aguentem pouquinho, que eu vou tentar descolar
Good idea, Wizards. Great idea.
Código de parceria para vocês conseguirem algum desconto, algo assim. Ainda estou falando com loja. O tempo que como eu cubro Final Fantasy e não Magic, eles ficam um pouco receosos, tipo, a gente vai dar uma parceria pra garota falar de uma coleção só. A coleção mais cara possível, mas, né?
That's not all. These teams need your help. Please, would you like to go out the back? The 2 people who are going down here.
Yes.
Those who have been instructed previously. Karen, please, we'll see you in a second. Adam. Oh, that's so mysterious. Where are they going, I hear you say?
Let's do it!
Woo!
All right, so should we discuss strategy?
Kenny,
Kenny, where the hell are you going?
We gotta keep it secret.
You have to stay out there.
What the hell is going on there?
We got this.
We have such a short time for this game. You're wasting so much of it.
I'm taking the piss. I'm sorry.
I respect you so much, but you are ruining this for me. Honestly, no, Kenny, I've told everyone that I'm doing this, and I need to look professional.
It's even worse when I wrestle. Trust me.
Eu costumo avisar quando tem alguma promoção, quando
okay. Well, it's going so well, Ben. It's going so well.
Chaos, am I right? Inclusive, galera que tá que vai jogar o Ragnarok, eu pedi um monte de códigozinho do Hag. E eu não vou usar, gente. Então eu vou distribuir pra vocês. Vira e mexe, eu vou tirar fotos dos códigos. Quem resgatar primeiro ganha. Ligado. E tem como vocês pegarem o...
No, divide yourself. I can't be bothered to choose. Somewhere down there, choose what you want. I don't know. This room isn't divided in the way that we hoped for this particular game. Right. Let's play this sweet, sweet game.
Cargo de sorteio e de desconto.
But of course we're going to need some, maybe two companions or something like that.
Yes, we are.
With our team members. Maybe they'd like to meet them.
Yes, do you want to see them?
Do you like something cute, something adorable?
You want to see some cute things on the screen?
I mean, come on.
Look at those guys, come on. Something special for Team Jace and Team Chandra,
They're so cute. It's so cute. I've lost all of my cards and I have no idea what's going, so we are literally going at this blind, everyone.
These our little Jace and Chandra Chocobo, our brand new working collaboration with Square Enix for this release.
Yep.
They'll be on Magic the Gathering Arena as well as pets, so pretty cool.
That is so cute, aren't they? Offensively cute. Okay, some of the numbers is a very simple game now that I've found the cards and I can explain it myself. Each question is about Magic and Final Fantasy. What a surprise, every answer is a number. But we want you to help our teams. So joining Karen and Adam to make your guesses. If you'd like to take part, please, with some decorum, line up either side behind our guests. Okay.
Come on, Team Jace.
Good work, Brave
Souls.
Good work.
This is the correct side to be on.
Once I ask this question, thank you. Once I ask this, I will ask you a question. 3 of you will give your answers to our lovely teams down here. You will then lock in your answers, write them down here, and then we will come to the numbers master himself, who will give us the correct answer.
That's right. They got an English major to do the numbers, so I'm doing what I can here, okay?
As you can see, this has already gone completely off the rails, but there is one rule. And the one rule, please, is no phones, no way. Get your filthy hands off the internet, you dirty, dirty people. Okay, here is our first question. And I'm going to go to this team over here.
Team Jace?
Team Jace.
Wait, cheer for Team Jace.
That's what I want to hear.
All right, a lot of excited people.
Here we go.
Don't encourage them. Don't encourage them.
Team Chandra, you want to make some noise?
Let's go, guys!
Woo! Team Jace, you want to make some noise? Okay, question 1. Question 1. You'll get to answer soon, don't worry. Get your guesses in. Black mages have been a recurring element in Final Fantasy ever since the very first game. But in Magic the Gathering, how many black cards have the word mage in their name?
Mage.
Yes, so we're looking for numbers.
So, would you like to come forward and make your guesses, please? Team Jace.
So, your name, where you're from, and then what your answer is, my friend.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm from Washington, D.C.
A camisetinha do cara. Eles têm sacola. Olha a mina atrás com a sacola do Sephiroth.
That's safe. I like that.
Thank you so much. What's the next one? What's your guess?
Name, where you're from, what your answer is?
Patrick from Massachusetts. I'm going to say 11.
Lovely.
11. Beautiful. And name, where you're from. Nice T-shirt. What your answer is?
My name is Phil. I'm from Portland, Maine. I think
it's uma camiseta de tabela periódica do
Great. Okay, you're going to lock one of those answers in. Do it. And whilst you're doing that, team over here, Karen, let's go.
All right. Come on up. Okay. What is your name and where are you from?
I'm Ryan from Massachusetts.
Awesome. Give it up for Ryan.
Woo. Thank you.
Okay, what's your guess?
I have no idea, but I'm just going to go with 25.
All right, that's safe. We like that.
That's
25.
It.
All right. You can stay up here.
You guys are cooked. I'm liking this already.
Okay, next one. Let's go.
All right. What is your
Caralho,
name
os malucos saem com booster?
David. I'm from
Eles dão palpite e saem com booster de graça?
Lovely. Great number. I love that number.
Love that.
Thank you. Anyone else? If you guys just keep saying 16,
Porra,
you
eu ia morrer de vergonha e ia todas as vezes. Segue lá com 1000 boosters.
Okay, what is your name and where are you from?
William from New York City.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to say 45.
Whoa.
Now we're talking.
Okay, guys, I want you to lock one of those answers in. Do you remember any of those numbers, Kenny?
Oh, yeah. I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Do you remember those numbers, Talia?
Yeah.
You're already in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay, great. I would love us to reveal your
O Moisés disse que dá booster do Aether Drift porque tá sobrando nos estoques e ninguém gostou.
Do it after the show.
I went with 20. Right in the middle.
45. Let's go.
Okay, here we
many.
Go big or go home.
All right, well, the correct answer, everybody, is 43. Team Chandra.
Let's go.
Don't
That was awesome.
Don't worry.
That was awesome, guys.
We're on a tight schedule here, and all people really want to do is see cards, and they're caught in a chaotic game right now. But that's okay. We're going. Question 2. It's really simple. Let's make this a little bit quicker. You can say your name doubly fast, where you're from even faster, and then the number as if we can't almost hear it. It's so fast.
Okay.
Number 2. Let's go. There are presently 16. That's right. Mainline games in the Final Fantasy RPG series. How many creatures in Magic the Gathering have a combined power and toughness of 16?
Okay, name where you're from and what your answer is.
Bro.
Richard from Massachusetts, and I'm going to say 27. 27. Name where you're from. What's your answer?
Hey, I'm Matthew from Lowell, Massachusetts, and I'm going to say 15.
Name where you're from. What your answer is?
Craig, Groveland, Massachusetts, and 41.
Good guesses. Good guesses.
Wonderful. Here we go.
Talia, feeling good about this.
Congratulations. Get those locked in. Team over here.
Thank you.
We need some low numbers, guys.
Come
Give me some
on up.
low numbers.
Okay. What is your name and where are you from?
Jeff from Boston, and I'm going to go 1.
You know it, Jeff.
Oh.
You know it.
Okay, thank you.
You know it.
Come on up. Oh, lovely shirt. I love the cats.
Me too.
Okay. Are you
I
Mason?
like them too.
Yes. I'm Mason. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
I like them too, buddy.
Hey,
there we go.
Man.
All right.
I'm going to go for 7.
Okay.
Oh. Lucky number 7. Lucky number 7.
Guys, he likes cats. What can I say? What can I say?
Give it up for the cat.
Guys, it's done. It's done.
Hi,
7.
Nice to
7's
meet
our
you.
guess.
Hi, come on up. Okay.
Hi, my name's TJ Gamebox. I'm from Massachusetts.
All right, where are you?
Massachusetts.
Where are you?
Massachusetts!
All right, go for it, buddy.
I'm going to go 22.
Ooh.
22.
Okay, guys, got to lock
Thank you
those
so
in.
much.
Remember, when you come up here, you're not representing yourself. You're representing thousands of people. Please genuinely feel the pressure. Everyone cares, okay? Great. Let's lock the answers in. Let's see what you've gone for. Team Jace.
I went with the lowest, 15. Hey,
It's great to know that your team have no confidence in you.
No confidence.
Okay, let's go, Team Chandra.
I'll just take the points now at 7. The number is low. The number is low. I know it is.
Yep.
Both great numbers, both great Final Fantasy games, but the correct answer is 85. 85.
Oh,
That's going to be a point for Team Jace.
We won.
Score is 1-1. 1-1, everybody.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure, I'm afraid.
Can we check that again?
Nope.
Okay. Maybe next time.
I make the cards, buddy. My rules.
Okay,
all right.
Maybe next time. Yeah.
Much like the much-beloved Final Fantasy series, this is truly gripping stuff. Here we go. Question number 3. Launched in 1993, Magic the Gathering will be honoring 32 years of trading card gaming with its collaboration with Final Fantasy. In December of 2025, Final Fantasy will have been a gaming franchise for how many years?
We need a number for years. Interesting.
Name where you're from and what your answer is, if you want to come up here.
You guys better get this.
It was how many years? My name's Alan. I'm from Massachusetts, and I believe it should be around 28.
Okay.
28. Name where you're from, what your answer is.
I'm Issa. I'm from Kuwait, and honestly, I don't know.
Damn. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'm really just here for the thrill of it, really. So
Yeah.
I'm just.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
I'm gonna say I don't know.
That's a great number.
Yeah,
Put
but
that
shout
down.
out Ben Starr. We love you.
Thank
You're
you.
the best. Final Fantasy XVI is the best Final Fantasy, by the way.
And celebrate me by giving us a number.
16.
16.
Yeah.
16. There you
16.
go, baby.
There it is.
Oh, dang. I like it.
And name where you're from, what your answer is.
My name is Matt. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm going to guess 40.
40.
40.
Here
Good
we
guesses.
go.
Good guesses.
Thank you so much. We'll lock one of those answers in. Here we go.
All
Team
right,
Chandra.
Team Red, let's go. Name, where are you from? What's your guess?
Hi, my name is Tim. I'm from Bethel, Connecticut, and I am going to guess 39 specifically.
All right. I like that. Come on up. Name, where you're from, and what's your guess?
I'm Matthew from Florida, and I'm going to say 34.
Ooh.
Okay. Hi, come on up. Where are you from, and what's your name, and what is your guess?
Eu ia falar, tinha um macaco no meio das pernas daquele cara.
And my guess is 36.
A lot of 30s, a lot of 30s.
Lock
Thank
one
you
of
so
those,
much.
Lock one of those answers in, please.
All right, Kenny. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Não, era uma, eu acho que era uma moça que tava comprando.
All right,
tipo,
we
você
went
deve
with
comprar
40.
alguma coisa na aula de Magic que deve ganhar.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Oh, wow. So I had to take the answer that was closest to that, so 39.
39.
All right,
Well-
it's going to be a close one.
I've got some great news for one of you. The correct answer is...
I had no choice.
38.
I had no choice, which is why I picked the right one. That's why I picked it.
Yes.
That's why I did it.
A true
And I'll do it
genius.
again.
A true genius at work. That's now 2 points for Chandra, 1 point for Jace. Coming down to the wire
got
here.
this.
Here we go.
We
Let's
can
go
come
to
back.
question
We can come
number
back.
4. Chocobos are the beloved bird character of Final Fantasy, but Magic has its
Eu
fair
acho que
share of
Chocobos
birds as
estão
well.
piando.
How many bird creatures have been
É, eu tô
printed
ouvindo
in
ar
Magic?
aqui de fundo, bem baixinho.
Okay,
I
name
love
where you're
birds.
from, what your answer is.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nick. I'm from Massachusetts.
Yes.
And my answer
Tipo quando
is
você tá caçando
22.
tesouros no norte.
22. Nice. Nice. All right, name where you're from, what your answer is.
My name's Ryan. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm going to guess 69.
69. There we go.
Nice.
Don't cheer that. Do not cheer
Name where you're
that.
from, what your answer is.
No.
I'm May from Montreal. I like going extra 155.
155. Good guesses. Good guess.
Okay. Wonderful. Lock one of those answers in, and we'll move over here to Team Chandra. Let's go, Karen.
All right. Name, where you're from, and your guess?
My name's Noah. I'm from Connecticut. I'm gonna go with 123.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Good
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Good answer.
What's your name?
I'm liking it.
My name's Joel. I'm from Massachusetts, and my guess is 132.
132.
É, então, eu acho que a galera tá fazendo alguma
Name where you're
compra e
from
deve
and the
ganhar.
Jim, Arlington, Massachusetts, 107.
Ó, a moça que tá do lado
Okay,
dele
awesome.
tá.
Thank you so much.
Okay, everyone, let's reveal our numbers, please.
Tira
Okay, I went with
print por ela.
55. But I don't know. I feel like it might be more.
Yeah. Like, clearly.
So you've gone with 170.
gift wrapping
Please,
points.
Gavin, reveal the number.
Well, you know I'm a bird fan. You got Avon, you got Bloomberg birds, you got all these other birds, and the right answer is 403, which puts the point back on
There's a
Team
lot of birds.
Chandra.
Yeah.
A lot of birds.
Listen, I do want to take a moment because actually, Adam, this is embarrassing for you.
I don't know what to say.
Is there anything you want to say to your team to kind of like perk them up, maybe get their ideas going?
This is all being done on purpose because we're about to have comeback of the century. Mark my words.
I don't think
Mark
so.
my words. We
I
got
don't
this.
think so.
It is the first of 4 points, is it not, Ben?
It is the first of four,
First
so
of
you're
four.
not
Got
doing
this.
great. You are on life support. I do respect you more than Kenny, but this is truly bad.
Hey.
I don't, Kenny. I like you way more. Okay, let's go. Question number 5. One class in Final Fantasy is the White Mage. In Magic the Gathering, a White Mage is a player who casts spells using white mana. How many
Nossa, quando você
cards?
perguntou
Wow, this
se
is
eles já
interesting.
ficaram,
How many cards that include
eu tava tentando
white
entender
mana have been
o que
printed
você quer dizer
in
por
Magic?
ficaram. E é realmente ficaram de, tipo,
Can't be that
se
many.
pegar.
Can't be that many, right?
Okay. Name
Go high.
where you're from and what's your answer.
I'm just going to give you a ballpark. Go high.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm from Rhode Island, and I don't know. Let's go with 5,307.
Okay.
All right.
All right, name where you're from, what your answer is?
Anthony, Buffalo, New York. And I'm going to go with 2,512.
Beautiful.
Okay.
High numbers. High numbers. Good stuff. All right, name where you're from, what your answer is?
Nova from Jacksonville, Florida. My answer is 10,849.
Whoa.
Wow.
Nice and high. Beautiful.
There we go.
Okay, let's move over. Karen, let's go.
All right. What's your name, where you're from, and your guess?
Jeff, New Jersey. 26,806.
Love that. Aiming big. Thank you. All right. Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay, what is your name? What is your guess? Where are you from?
Do you want that in that order?
Yes.
My name is Ian. The guess is
verdade.
10,850. And I'm from Massachusetts.
Thank you.
All right, come on up.
Eu
What's your name?
deveria
Where
ir
you're
mais
from,
de
and what's your
Give me
guess?
something to work with.
My name is Tommy. I'm from New Hampshire, and I'm going to go ahead and throw out 1,222.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Here we go. Lock in your answers, please.
This could be for the game.
I feel like this could be for the game.
We need
If
this.
Chandra gets a point here, they will win.
This.
What? Lot riding on this.
Come back of the century.
Not this
Come
one?
back of the century. Just wait.
We need this.
Just wait.
The great
This
thing is
is
you
it.
definitely remember all of those high numbers, right?
I wrote them down.
Totally.
Excellent. So, reveal your answers.
Okay, we went with 5,307. Come on!
Kenny, this could be for the win. Let's go.
Yeah.
That feels good.
10,850. The number is going to be astronomical.
Tá fazendo que nem ele fez com a
the
Terra,
correct
colocar
answer.
aquela tiara do
Everyone's
controle
gonna be
mental.
awesome. The correct answer is 6,143. Point over for Team Jace. Jace on the board. Jace on the board.
Come back of the century. Here it is.
Até que enfim o time do Jace fez algum
Speed through
ponto.
this. You got this. It's really, really close. You can see the numbers right now. It's 3-2. It's getting closer than we thought. Question 6. The Buster Sword is one of the most well-known weapons in Final Fantasy.
Eu
In
juro
Magic,
que eu
how
tava
many
parada
cards
e eu
have
escutei
either the word Buster
barulhinho assim de
or the
chocobinho,
word
sabe?
sword in their card name?
Agora tem, eu coloquei,
Okay.
eu
Alright,
estou
so
deste
name,
lado
where
da
you're from,
tela,
your answer?
porque vira e mexe vem
I
anúncio
am from Pennsylvania.
e
I'm actually also from Philly.
fica desse jeito.
And I like a lot of numbers. So
Gente,
the
olha
number I'll
bonitinho.
give is
Eles
probably,
ficam
I
se
would say,
mexendinho.
105.
Great.
Almoço com sacola.
Thank you.
Name where you're from, your answer?
Hi, my name is Adam. I'm also from Philly as well. And the number I'm going to say is 255.
Ah, é a moça da
Good.
255.
All right, my friend. Name where you're from, what your answer is?
My name's Brian Moses. Jesus Christ, those are some broad ass lights. My name's Brian Moses, and I'm from right here in Massachusetts. Make some noise. And my guess is gonna be 285.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, Kenny, let's go. Karen, what do you got?
All right, what's your name, where you're from, and what's your guess?
My name's Z. I'm from Connecticut, and my guess is 348.
348. Come on up. Name, where you're from, and number?
My name is Mallory. I'm from Albany, New York, and I'm going to say 350.
All
right.
Here we go.
Hello, you look lovely.
Thank
This is
you.
awesome. Name, where you're from, and what is the number?
Okay, I'm Meg. I'm from Boston, and my guess is 750.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, quickly lock those
I
in
hope
because
you
we don't
get
have
it.
much time. Lock those numbers in. What
Right.
do you think?
All right.
Okay.
We went with 255.
I had
Team
to go with
Chandra.
our lowest number, so it's 348.
Wow. Okay.
This is it, y'all.
All right, well, the correct answer, I'm afraid, is 72, which means that Jace gets a point. We are tied up, 3-3. All right.
The drama, the drama, the drama. Okay, this is it, guys. This is crunch time. It's 3-all, first to
We got
4.
this.
Make this happen.
Hey,
Wow.
this is what you've given me to work with? I picked this because you made me. We have to win, guys. Come on.
Let's go.
Team Sandra.
Guys, hype up your team.
Sandra rolling the
Come
RC.
back of the century, everybody. Let's go. We got this. We got this.
Come on. Sandra.
Chandra, 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 Chandra.
Yes.
de falar a mina tentando falar Jace e a voz dela nem saindo.
This is what you're fighting
Parece que
for.
tá gritando Chandra junto.
Something incredibly superficial.
Our pride.
The knowledge that where you sat today, for some reason, makes you better than everyone else.
So, wait, super means it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, great thing, Kenny.
There we go, we're superficial, guys.
Okay. All right. Last question. It's incredibly important. This is for bragging rights and for just being cooler than the other half of the room for some reason.
Yep.
Our panel today features 4 members of the Wizards of the Coast design team. Final Fantasy VI holds the record for a mainline Final Fantasy game with the most playable characters. But exactly how many main playable characters
calma, é realmente
does
muito.
Final Fantasy VI
É a
have
Terra, o Loki, o Edgar, o Sabin, a Celis, o Estrago, a Helm, a Gogô, o Mog, o Maru, o Cyan e o Shadow. Foram 12.
Okay, name, where are you
Back
from,
and
and
forth,
what
huh?
Não tem
Doing that
mais.
stuff again.
I'm Matthew from Massachusetts,
Hã?
and I'm gonna say
Não, eles não contam como jogáveis.
16.
Tipo, você joga com Bigs e Wedge, mas tipo,
Back over here.
eles não são parte da sua party, por exemplo, no
Don't
final.
use this to get brownie points at the host. Just say the right
Então a
answer.
gente
We
fica
gotta
com
win.
12.
I'm Jack from New York. I'm going to go with 23.
23. Back over here.
All right, hello. You know the drill.
Ace from Brooklyn, and I think 21.
Thank you
Eu
so
contei o
much.
Mog.
21.
Eu contei o Mog junto
All right.
depois do
Name, where
Maru.
you're from, your answer?
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm from Niskayuna, New York, and my number is 20.
20.
Okay.
There we go.
Remember, guys, it's Final Fantasy VI. It's actually not that hard.
Ooh.
Eu segurando o microfone
Shots
assim.
fired. All right, name, where you're from, and what is the number?
I'm Mike from Springfield, and the number is 14.
You knew it. I mean,
Definitive. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, you got to lock in one of those answers, right?
Yo. You done. You done.
Mas até aí, você não tem algum
All right, those answers getting locked in. This is for all the bragging rights. So feel good all Saturday. Are you excited to find out your champions?
No,
Here we go.
Let's go.
Kenny.
6, 5, wait.
Here we go. Right, okay.
Okay.
What have you put?
Oh my gosh. We've been with 15.
You
I
put
was getting all
15.
kinds of answers. I
Eu
hope this is
voto
right.
12.
Chanta, what have you put?
I'm just not sure, so I guess I'll just give you guys the right answer at 14.
Ele vai ganhar porque ele
Please
botou
put
a
us out of our
menos.
misery. What is
We've
it?
got 15 on this side, 14 on this side, and the correct answer is
It just
14!
Eles contam Biggs e o Edge, vai se fuder.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Caraca, ele... Nada mais justo que um Chocobo vermelho, ele dá um meteoro.
Congratulations to
Chocobo
our
azul.
winners. Commiserations to our losers. Thank you so much for every single person who came up. I know it's quite daunting. The lights are incredibly bright, and believe me, I know what a bright light feels like.
I just want to thank my opponent. It was a great match.
Oh, thank you. All right. I'll see you on the rink.
I'm
for
just
that
kidding.
one.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
And on that note, thank you so much
Vai
to
ter
our
mais
incredible
cartinha. Eles só
guests.
fizeram um intervalinho e pra galera continuar assistindo, eles fizeram essa meio que uma gincana pra galera da plateia continuar lá, sabe? Pra mim, a maior parte das perguntas era tipo, pitaco, chute, porque não dava pra aceitar. Tirando, data, ano, essas coisas até que dá. Esse foi o mais próximo de eu conseguir pensar em responder. Que era quantos membros da... quantos personagens você joga no Final Fantasy VI. Pararam, exato, pararam no 6. Ou vai mostrar mais alguma coisa do 6, que eu duvido, ou vai começar direto pelo 7.
I love seeing all the hands up.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a booster pack. Who doesn't want a booster pack, Ben?
I want a booster pack.
I love it. I love it. So much excitement.
Okay.
Sim, eles estão mostrando a carta de todos os Final Fantasy na ordem.
Settle down. I did ask myself before I came out, is everyone in the audience feral? And you have just answered that question for me. So thank you so much. And thank you for being very, very silly. I think we need to get back to a little bit of decorum. So please, thank you to our guests. Thank you to you. Let's bring our panelists back onto the stage. Gavin, Zakil, Dylan, Daniel, let's rejoin.
Não mostraram nenhuma até agora do 9. A teoria do Andrew é que as artes do 9 são inspiradas no remake do 9, que ainda não foi anunciado.
Okay.
Teoria de
That was incredibly
teoria
well
de
planned.
maluco é a especialidade do Andrew.
Let's go. I want everyone to settle down, and I recognize that we can't really jump back immediately into Final Fantasy VII. I think we need to jump into something a little fun. I think we need to jump into something, dare I say, a little cute. Let's watch this.
A little cute. Oh, meu Deus do céu! É fazendo Chocobos do 7! Bonitinho! Meu Deus! É por isso que a gente não... Ai! Eu pensei que ia ser um pé de Chocobo. Tem um dourado! Tem um dourado! Caralho! A carta é totalmente dourada. Tem um... Mano, olha que bonitinho! Gente, a fazendinha do 7 me pegou demais.
Wow, that's quasi.
É por isso que o Bart tem uma habilidade de afinidade com pássaros, cara.
Talk us through this.
Yeah, oh man, I love Chocobos.
Fazer um deck de Chocobo com Barts na frente.
Mythic in Traveling Chocobo. It is a 3-mana 3/2 that allows you to look at the top card of your library, as well as cast and play birds and lands from the top. Earlier, we showed you Bartz and Boko, who interacts within the bird archetype within the set. That card enters the battlefield and deals damage or birds deal damage off that trigger. This card also doubles those triggers. And we knew that Chocobos are such an important part of the Final Fantasy franchise that we had to do something really special. So enter our colorful Chocobos. Here are 4 of them in neon ink, in yellow, pink, green, and blue. These are found in all language collector boosters.
Mano,
and during development, as we were putting this
ligada
together,
aí, que a
we
gente
worked
tá
very
zoando.
closely with Final Fantasy
Tem
VII
muita arte
creative director
que foge
Tetsuya Nomura,
bastante do
who
que é
really loved the idea.
os Final
One of
Fantasy.
his producers during development told us that his favorite Chocobo from the original Final Fantasy VII was the black Chocobo named Teo because he was the fastest one in the original minigame, and it held a very special place in his heart.
Cor de Chocobo que eu tirar, eu vou ficar feliz. É lógico que eu vou ficar extremamente feliz com o dourado, porque eu vou saber que eu estou rica. É lógico. Mas qualquer coisa de Chocobo que eu tirar, eu vou ficar feliz. Gente, vocês acham que eu quero vender essas cartas? Eu quero jogar. Eu quero elas num fichário bonitinho. É lógico que eu quero também uns decks, porque vai ser divertido jogar com elas. Botar 1000 shields.
This card is only available in English collector boosters and is serialized out of 77 for Final Fantasy VII.
Pra parecer que saiu do booster.
Pretty cool. Give a round of applause for Chocobos.
É que esses Chocobos foram inspirados especificamente no 7, né? Se bem que não tem pink no 7.
Now we move on to a little bijou game called Final Fantasy VII.
Sim, tem muita carta que é exclusiva regional, uma desgraça, né?
Never heard of it.
Aquele Chocobo preto aparentemente é
really
japonês.
An amazing video game and it has a huge reputation. Dylan, this game is huge.
So huge, in fact, that on the original release for PlayStation, it came in 3 discs. If you were an old school gamer, if you were there back in the day, you knew you were in for a wild time when your game came in multiple discs, especially for an RPG. So,
verdade, podia ter Ambrosia.
Final Fantasy VII follows the story of Cloud Strife, ex-soldier and current mercenary, as he winds up in this broiling conflict between the Shinra Electric Company and the anti-Shinra resistance group Avalanche.
O
Cloud's
Benstar
adventure
vai
begins in
ficar muito
Midgar, of
puxando
course,
o
the city
saco
of Mako, and
das
this
cartas do
world that
16.
we're introduced to is inspired by these science fantasy aesthetics and these kind of cyberpunk-inspired themes. And the first disc is just about this amazing adventure that brings together the core cast of characters like Barrett, Tifa, Aerith, Red 13, as they battle against Shinra and ultimately learn of a deadlier threat.
Mais uma vez,
looming
eles
on the
normalmente
horizon,
estão dando um
Sephiroth.
pequeno resumo do que é esses Final Fantasy, porque tem muita gente que tá aí que tá só pelo Magic, que não manja nada do Final Fantasy, então ele tem que dar ali um contexto da história. Vamos ter aqui no Brasil, já tem algumas lojas que estão anunciando pré-venda, tem algumas que não estão reservando, porque a coleção está bem disputada, mas a gente vai ter lojas aqui vendendo, tá? Inclusive, eu falei um pouquinho no início da stream que me pediram um código, cupom de desconto e coisas do tipo. Ainda estou tentando negociar, gente. Estou tentando entrar em contato com algumas lojinhas para ver se alguém topa fazer alguma parceria aqui com a Moogles pra gente conseguir um cupom de desconto que seja pra vocês poderem pagar mais barato, que né, a coleção tá bem carinha.
Please insert.
Oh, okay, we want to do disc 3. So finally, in the ultimate finale, we hit the major climax.
Agora chegou no Final Fantasy favorito do Benstar. Não tinha saído a carta do Squall, né, ainda.
The final gauntlet against Jenova and Sephiroth to save the world. So I've taken you on this extended and somewhat silly journey just to kind of remind all of us how much content we needed to fit into the set just from Final Fantasy VII.
So, there are obviously some amazing cards. Let's get to it. Gavin, let's show us one.
All right, well, we have to have the characters in Final Fantasy
Cloud,
VII, of course.
Versão
So how
bichona,
about Cloud?
Maravilhoso.
We knew we had to do Cloud. Obviously, we're going to do
Cloud
Cloud.
de
But what
vestido?
was Cloud going to
Nossa,
do?
precisa
How
de
are we
uma
going to
carta
make
de
him
Cloud
a
de
card that was
vestido.
worthy of the Cloud mantle? Well, the first thing Cloud does when he comes into play is go and find an equipment. Of course, he's got to find his sword. That's critical. Now, if you are a long-time Magic player, you might know about a card called Stoneforge Mystic. Very powerful Magic card. Cloud is a
Gente,
little
quando eu
bit
vi
reminiscent of
o
that,
Cloud
finding
de
you any
vestido no
equipment
evento
you want.
surtei, cosplay
It also doubles all the
da pessoa tava
abilities conferred
impecável.
by that equipment. So you put, say, an
Eu
old
gritando
school
no
sword of
evento,
fire and ice, a
Cloud,
sword of
deixa
peace and
eu tirar
famine
uma
on
foto,
him.
pelo amor de
Boom,
Deus.
you're doubling up all those triggers. So there's a lot of really powerful stuff you can do with Cloud. This card is incredible and well worthy of being Cloud.
Ó, equipamento Buster Sword.
Now you might be wondering, what is Cloud going to find? What kind of stuff might you want to find with Cloud? Well, there's a card in the set called Buster Sword. That's some pretty good news, right? Would you all like to see the Buster Sword?
Tem que ter a frasezinha do Zack.
I'm not going to show
Ou
it
do
to you.
Endil na carta.
You can stay tuned to find out what the Buster Sword does in the days to come, but I can tell you that it's 3 mana, curves right off of a Cloud, and it's pretty good on
Nossa,
Cloud
a do
himself.
Cloud de vestido e assim. É como é mesmo? Yeah, I nailed it. Move it on.
Our next card, in my opinion, is one of the most iconic characters in video games.
Nossa, do Sephiroth tem um Young Sephiroth. E deve ter ele, Deus.
To millions of fans around the world.
Ele ficou foda, não, foda-se. Ficou
Ladies and
maravilhoso.
gentlemen, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce to you, illustrated by none other than Tetsuya Nomura.
Mano, ele tá
Sephiroth.
parecendo quase o Kefka.
So Stephanie mentioned
São duas
earlier that there
cartas,
were 9
aparentemente.
artists from Square Enix who created illustrations exclusively for this project. One of those artists, of course, was Tetsuya Nomura. They all had the choice to pick any character from the Final Fantasy series that they wanted to illustrate.
Nossa,
and
já
we would
pensou?
make
Tem
sure
uma
that they had
carta
a
do
card.
livro do Loveless.
One of
Nossa
Nomura's
senhora, que ódio.
missions when he drew this illustration
Eu
was
tenho
to
ódio
really
do
narrate the
Genesis.
progression that the character has in his multiple
A
different
gente, quando a
forms.
gente jogava
So if
com
we
esse
look on the left
score,
at the bottom,
tanto o
we have
original
Child
quanto
Sephiroth that was introduced
o
in Final
Reunion,
Fantasy
eu falava,
VII Ever
gente, isso é
Crisis,
sem
who,
dúvida
of
se é
course, then grows up
uma
into adult
cópia
Sephiroth from
ou
the
se é o
original game.
Genesis. Ele tá citando Loveless, então é o Genesis mesmo. Se ele cita Loveless, é o Genesis.
Most powerful version in Safer Sephiroth. So, do you all want to see his card? So let's check out Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier. He's a 3-mana 3/3. Whenever he
Toda vez
enters
que o
or
Sephiroth
attacks, you may
entra
sacrifice another
ou
creature.
ataca,
If
você tem
you
que
do,
sacrificar outra
draw a
criatura.
card.
Se você fizer,
Then,
você puxa
whenever
uma
another
carta.
creature dies, target opponent loses
Toda
one
vez que a
life and you
criatura
gain one
morre,
life. And if this is the fourth time this ability is triggered, transform
oponente
Sephiroth into Sephiroth,
mirado
one-winged
perde
angel,
de
who is
vida
a
e ganha e você ganha de vida. Basicamente ele suga a tua vida.
With flying and the ability Supernova, as this creature transforms, you gain an emblem with the same
se você
ability
fizer
from the
isso
front
4
side,
vezes,
and
essa habilidade 4 vezes,
whenever
o
Sephiroth
Sephiroth se transforma do Fabled Soldier pro One-Winged
This is the
Angel.
second ever creature in Magic the Gathering to produce an emblem. This is the card that I think went through the most design iterations. It felt like we had a new build of Sephiroth every single month.
Nossa, mano, a arte do Nomura é muito linda. Eu gosto muito da arte do Amano, mas assim, a arte do Nomura, ela é a estética que eu tenho pra vida. Para as roupas que eu visto. Ai, que bonitinha, Ares, animo.
We're going to talk about the story of Sephiroth and Cloud. Of course, we're going to talk
Life
about
Link.
Aerith herself. So here we can see Aerith is the white mage and
Toda vez
healer
que
of the party.
você ganha vida, você coloca um marcador 1/1, mais 1/1 na Ares. Quando a Ares morre, você põe X marcadores mais 1/1 em qualquer criatura legendária que você controle. Onde X é o número de mais 1/1s que a Ares tinha. Caralho, olha essa coleção de cartas da Tifa!
So we see two Tifas here, and I
A
actually
Tifa
see a Tifa here in the front row.
Marcial
You look fantastic.
é a minha favorita.
The one on the left here is Tifa Lock card. This is her
normal,
main set
não
card. And I just
animo.
want to personally attest, I have won so many games in-house with this card, and I've lost even more games against this card. She is very, very powerful.
Mas faz sentido pra Ares, né, a carta ser, né, uma
Right,
carta
you see
de
that Chocobo
sacrifício.
symbol? That means we're talking about Commander. This is the secondary Commander for the Commander deck for Final Fantasy VII.
O Sombra
This
falou,
is
nossa,
Tifa.
uma
She has
Sister.
melee, I put that on pretty
E
early
eu lembrei
on, martial artist, she gets in there. But the second ability I was struggling with for a little
Sisters
bit
lá, as
while.
Mago
And then
Sisters.
Dylan joined
E a
the
gente
game
tem
design
elas
team
no
pretty late,
4,
and he's like,
mas
hey,
não
what if you
mostraram.
focused
A
on
gente
this? So
tem elas no
we
10,
leaned
a
into
gente já
that
tem elas no
extra attack.
14.
That's what she does in the
Eu
game.
consigo
You're trying
imaginar
to get
a carta pra ela.
combos going.
Mano, depois que
And
colocar
so
uma
whenever
carta do
you
Rio de
attack with
Brand, eu
melee, you
consigo
get
esperar
power 7
tudo.
or greater, which is the sub-theme
Tem
of the
carta
deck.
do Rio de
You
Brand
get
e
those
tem
extra
carta do
combats.
suplex
So as you
do
guessed, there
Sabin.
is a full Final Fantasy VII Commander deck led by none other than Cloud himself. This deck is an equipment deck with that sub-theme of Power
Essa do
7 or
Cloud a
greater. So
gente
in
já
this
chegou a
deck, you'll
ver.
find every party member you come to expect, maybe some villains in here as well, and all the iconic equipment like a Buster Sword, Yuffie's Shuriken, Tifa's boots, everything you'd expect to find. And then with that Cloud as the face commander, he's tying everything together. He gets in there with that haste magic. He gets a free equipment. And then whenever he attacks, you draw a card for each attacking member of your team that is suited up. And then if his power is 7 or more, he gets paid as that mercenary to cast those spells.
Incredible. Right. Here we are. Finally, the game I've been waiting for, and hopefully all of you have. Final Fantasy VIII.
Olha a cara de felicidade da criança.
Quite literally the game that changed my life, so this is a very emotional moment for me. Dylan, let's talk about this game.
There is so much to love
Bora
and
ver o
appreciate about Final
squall.
Fantasy VIII. I'm so happy you all cheered so loud for this game. So Final Fantasy VIII kind of pushes what we understand fantasy to be as a genre, right? It really leans into a lot of esoteric ideas. You know, if we all remember Squall dreaming of Laguna and events of the past, trying to figure out how to stop the future. And then ultimately we go up against Ultimisia, whose whole plan harkens back to Chaos from Final Fantasy I to compress time and space into one massive power source for her to become an ascendant being. This story explores depth upon layer of how we understand fantasy to be in a modernized setting. I see why you love it so much.
I do. Daniel, let's talk us through this card here. Boy Squall.
Gostei, mas assim, não foi uma que eu surtei agora a arte desse Squall.
He's a bit of a lone wolf character, so that's what
mercenary.
his abilities represent. With that rough divide, whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets double strike. Why is that important? The second ability, whenever he deals damage to a player, you get to return any non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. You got double strike, you're doing that twice. I think we have a booster fund version to show as well with that full art. Yeah, there it is.
Não gostei da versão bichona,
And I
hein?
did mention Renoa at the beginning as a kill. Maybe we should show her card?
Yeah. Here we have
Ai,
Renoa
gente, que
Harlow.
bonitinho o toque do Ângelo.
Look at that.
Eu ia falar, eu gostei mais da carta da
Renoa
Renoa.
is a close
Mas o toque
friend
do
of Squall, and
Da Ângelo,
mechanically
né?
is known for battling alongside her dog, Angelo. So it would only be right for her to have the ability Angelo Cannon in combat. When you attack, you have a very
Teve
large
só a
card,
carta
you
do
get
Zéu
a buff,
que eu me lembre, do
Angelo.
8.
Any target creature you control with specific
O
Angelo gets a
resto não
huge buff,
mostrou
so
muito, não.
he will come in hot. So get ready. And I think next we're going to be looking at the villain of Final Fantasy.
Ah, o time essa é maravilhosa.
Go on to the real hero of
Tinha
Final
que
Fantasy
ser.
VIII, and that is Ultimisia.
E tem a frase
But there's
dela
something
quando
very
ela
special on this
vira,
card.
né?
It's the first
Essa
card in
coisa
Magic's
aí do
history
final.
to be an uncommon that takes an extra turn.
Mas
So this
passa
is an
3x3
incredibly
não vai ser
powerful card for an
suficiente para as
uncommon,
cartas
which
de
comes into
artes
play, she does a little
especiais,
surveilling,
realmente.
you know, fills up your graveyard a little bit. And then finally,
Mano,
when you have
essa Ultimessa,
interesting number,
ambos os lados
8 cards
estão
in your graveyard,
maravilhosos.
and 8 mana, you can turn her over to Ultimisia Omnipotent, take another turn, and I'll tell you, 7/7 Menace plus another turn is a pretty easy way to close out a game. So yeah, take that, heroes, take that.
Eu cheguei a ver.
Do we have any Triple
Depois que
Triad
eu
fans in the room?
voltei, a galera me mandou muita coisa do
Would you like
do
to see
deck
some
de
Triple Triad
gatinho.
cards? Yeah, I asked. They won't let me show them. Okay. But believe me, all they're in there. So, moving on pretty swiftly, we're going to go on to a little game called Final Fantasy IX. Here's Stephanie to tell us more.
I'm so excited to introduce my personal favorite of the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX was a fond farewell to the classic medieval fantasy setting. It paid homage to earlier games through its stylized character designs and was full of references and features from past games. One of our core creative pillars in this partnership was artistic authenticity. We needed to preserve the stylized character designs while interpreting it through the lens of magic so we could offer something fresh and exciting while staying true to the heart of Final Fantasy IX. The story follows Zidane as he teams up with the Princess of Alexandria, Garnet, to stop Queen Braun and her army of black mages. It balances charm and lovable characters.
Eu lembro que uma das cartas que vazaram era dos Black Watts, né?
And acceptance. As a teenager, the themes were so memorable and spoke to my angsty younger self. I went as far as getting my hands on the piano collections and learned to play a few iconic pieces by heart. I fondly remember replaying my save file over and over again just to rewatch those incredible cutscenes. This game was incredibly resonant, and as with every game in the Final Fantasy series, it was important that we did Final Fantasy IX justice.
Okay. Let's see some cards. Akil?
Yes.
Ai, esse Kuja! Meu Deus, esse Kuja com os Black Mages de fundo tá muito
Kuja Genome Sorcerer. Now, his illustration depicts a scene in which he is summoning an army of black mages against our heroes. He is also the head of the black-red archetype within the set that focuses on black mages, and he has 2 forms. At the end of each end step, he summons wizards to the
Gostei
battlefield.
mais da primeira arte dele como Genome Sorcery. E o token de Black Mage, que
check out
bonitinho.
that beautiful wizard token. Up next, we have a card.
Ainda gostei
for the
mais do
Magic
Kuja Genome.
fans. We haven't shown any Final Fantasy Through the Ages bonus sheet cards. Check out this
cai na mesma da Yuffie, eu não gostei, gente, quando é releitura de carta com arte assim, normalzona.
Gavin, who else from Final Fantasy
Me
IX
traga
is in the set?
Zidane arte nova.
I'm really happy to show you. That's the reaction I was hoping for, everybody. Here's Vivi. All right, so a little bit of black mages going on right here, right? We saw black mages a moment ago. When you cast a non-creature spell, you ping them, but Vivi's a little more curious than that. Wants to get +1/+1 counters and then generate you mana equal to Vivi's power. So not only will it generate mana as you cast more and more spells, but also if you say Giant Growth or put an equipment on them, it'll generate you tons and tons of mana. On the right-hand side there, we will see Fire Magic, which is a card with the new Tiered mechanic. Tiered is a brand new mechanic appearing here in Final Fantasy. You've never seen this before. We knew we had to get abilities like Fire, Fyra, and Fyraga into the set somehow. So this is kind of like a modal kicker. It's on a handful of cards, and the more mana you put in, the bigger effect you get, just like in Final Fantasy.
Okay, Kevin, you're sounding very enthusiastic. Is it okay that your favorite game is Final Fantasy IX?
O uso do Fire funciona quase como a mana do Final Fantasy 1, 2, né?
That's my bias.
Você gasta uma quantidade de mana
Right now
pra
we're moving
castar.
on to a game called Final Fantasy X.
Ou falei merda.
First game on the PlayStation 2, the story of Tidus and Yuna. It's an epic quest, and it's probably the reason that I'm around. The first Final Fantasy game to have actual voice acting in it.
Eu não
Without
lembro
it, I wouldn't
se
have a job.
eles marcam
It's also
o pronome do
one of our
Vivi.
commander decks, isn't that right, Daniel?
That's true. And speaking of favorite Final Fantasy series, of course I had to make a Final Fantasy X Commander deck. The thing about Commander decks is while the main set goes wide, touching all 16 games, these Commander decks go deep. They're going to get those heartwarming moments that follow Yuna and her party along. And
sim,
while I'm
agora
not
que eu
showing you
parei
that
pra
specific
pensar,
Yuna moment that you're probably all thinking right now,
eu acho que é
believe me, there
ele,
is a beautiful card in the set
porque
for
tem uma
that. But let's talk
conversa
about
do
this deck. It is
Zidane
built
com
around
o
the
Vivi,
sphere grid. That's
que
what I
o
wanted to do
Zidane
right away,
fala,
is a
tipo,
counters
você
matters
tá com
deck.
vergonha
In the
das
game, you're
garotas, não
moving
se preocupa que eu te
pebbles around,
apresento
getting
pra
new abilities
elas.
and raising
E
your
o Vivi
stats.
tá meio
In
sem
the game,
graça.
you're gonna be
Então eu
moving your
acho que
counters
ele
around
trata
like
o
you're building the
Vivi
sphere
como
grid.
menino.
Tidus himself has that ability in the beginning to set up your party at the beginning of a combat, and then cheer whenever he connects. He will proliferate all of those counters, draw cards, and you will keep going and going for that goal. And yes, there is Blitzball in here.
Desculpa, eu tô distraída fazendo carinho num gato. O filho
so
tá
that's
deitadinho
Tidus,
aqui do
but where
lado.
is Yuna, Zakil?
Guys, you can't have Final
Ai,
Fantasy
que
X without
linda
my girl
Yuna.
For those who don't know, Yuna is a summoner that travels through Spira alongside her guardians, and her main mechanical ability is the
Achei
power
muito
to
justo
summon
ela ser
Aeons
verde
onto the battlefield to aid her in battle. So this card focuses entirely on interacting with the saga creatures in the set,
Bonitinha.
resurrecting
Ela
summons from the
versão
graveyard
animo.
each turn, as well as buffing them while they are on the battlefield during your turn. And check out this beautiful borderless treatment as well.
Gorgeous. And from the summoner to the summoned. Let's see one of the most iconic Aeons.
Tem bastante summon, né? No
How
10.
does this one work?
This is the correct reaction for Bahamut. Now, when I was a kid, if you asked me to picture the coolest possible thing I could ever think of, I would get you Bahamut very fast. So when we concepted this card, the concept, the artist, and the art director, we all agreed we had to capture the aura of Bahamut and put it into this card. So we see the moment, the first time you summon it in-game, and if you look at the flavor word Mega Flare, you get to that overdrive, and you know the game will be over.
Esse tá bem mais legal.
So,
Achei esse bem mais maneiro.
this game has some of the most beautiful vistas in all of Final Fantasy. Let's show off some cool lands.
Yeah, absolutely.
gente,
So,
que lindo,
I mentioned some of those rare
Zanarkand.
towns earlier. This is part of a 5-card
Inteira e
cycle,
toda
one for each
fodida.
color, and for 5 different games. This is Zanarkand Ancient Metropolis. This does something we've never done before, which is put an adventure on a land. These are the only 5 adventures in the set. They're on the cycle
Por
of
favor,
5
não
lands.
desiste de
And it's
mim.
a
A gente
great
ainda vai
flavor
terminar a
fit
nossa gameplay de
because
Final
they
Fantasy
are all
X.
things that happen in that location. Of course, if you're hanging out in Zanarkand, you might encounter the Fates. You can look for all 5 of these rare lands in the set, one for each color.
Amazing. So before the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV,
Me surpreende que eles não
there
mostraram
was the
nenhuma
critically
carta de
acclaimed
Alexandria, né?
MMORPG Final Fantasy XI.
Oh my God!
Here
yes,
we go.
my people!
And because it is an MMORPG, you had a different approach to the other games in the series.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy XI as an MMO has a lot to explore, a lot to cover, a lot to dig into. It was my first MMORPG of all time. I spent countless hours, scouring the realms of Vana'diel, whether I was making friends online or whether I was going up notorious monsters and absolutely just getting my butt kicked. I was just having the time of my life.
Ai, caralho, que foda, absolutamente muito.
Let's talk about potentially
Gente,
the
que
most
carta mais
notorious
linda.
monster in that game. Just as a quick recap, if you don't know the story behind this character, this is a nigh unbeatable super boss endgame for the toughest of alliances with the best gear, and even then it was
o legal de botar o
very
Absolute Virtue é que não só a galera do 11, mas a galera que joga 14 também vai reconhecer.
What kind of time you will have when you go
A
up
gente tem
against
Absolute Virtue no
Now something from something absolutely terrifying to something a little cuter. Let's talk about
Ai,
the
que
Dragon's
bonitinho,
Wyvern.
o Dragon Weaver. No caso do 11, o dragão tem dragãozinho de pet.
This advanced job specifically because I love the idea of having the Wyvern. And so that's what Final Fantasy is about. It's achieving that amazing job class, fantasy, these beautiful, amazing worlds, and then never forgetting
eu ouvi que para se tornar um dragão você tem que fazer um pacto com um Wyvern vivo e não conseguiu o resto. Shantoto, essa cara da Shantoto tá linda, hein? Tá maravilhosa.
Now, Shantoto is the flagship uncommon, signpost uncommon within the set.
Tem a risadinha dela no início.
She gets buffs on the battlefield, and then if you cast anything that costs more than 4, you get to draw a card, which is very powerful in the context of limited and potentially.
Toda vez que você caça uma criatura, uma não criatura, spell, Shantoto ganha mais X, mais 0. Não consegui ler.
Did someone say 1? Final Fantasy XII. We yin, we yang. Here we go. Dylan, give us the story.
Right. So Final Fantasy XII takes the much beloved world of Ivalice, and there are many adventures, many stories happening here. In the intro, we learned the Arcadian
Aí,
Empire.
quem tava querendo o Balfier e a Fran? Gente, olha essa arte. Meu Deus. Olha essa Fran.
To show you this card. This is a commander deck I'm building immediately when this set comes out. And so, of course, as Sky Pirates, they will care about piloting the straw, going up against, and hopefully winning the game very fast.
Amazing. Now it's time to hear from Stephanie, our art director, once again, to tell us about some very important pieces of art.
So this is a very special story about the incredible Isamu Kamikoku Ryo. The city of Arcades is one of the first images made for Final Fantasy XII. Visually inspiring and dense with details, this piece immerses you in the world of Ivalice. This image was used as a promotional ad in a Japanese magazine to get artists excited to work at Square Enix on Final Fantasy XII. There are many employees who are currently at Square Enix because of this painting, and in turn, Samu made incredible friendships during his time there. It's no exaggeration to say this painting changed lives. It stands out as an example of Isamu's artistic perspective to push the imagination and craft worlds that have never been seen before.
And what's amazing about that piece of art is there is a link between 12 and the next game in the series because that same artist had a hand in designing what we're about to show you now.
ライトニングらしさっていうのをもう一回考えた時に内面にその激しさは秘めているんですけど外から見ると静かに佇んでるような姿が一番ライトニングらしいのかなっていう。ライトニングって武人なんですよね。侍のような女性なので普通に立ってても常に剣構えてるんですよ心の中では。
Strider já teve do Final Fantasy II, mostrou a arte do Firion. Meu namorado até trouxe meu gato, que se chama Firion, pra cá. Também teve uma carta dos Beavers, com o Guy de fundo. Eles estão mostrando em ordem numérica dos Final Fantasies mesmo. Então as primeiras que eles mostraram foi do 1 e do 2, 3 e agora a gente já tá no 12 e 13.
Dylan, tell us a little bit about the game, Final Fantasy XIII.
Mas já, eu não sei se vazou ou se já mostraram a arte do Laguna.
You see, in this world, we have these supernatural entities that are known as the Fall Sea. Though humanity fears them, they seek their protection. And the Fall Sea have the ability to designate La Sea, which are basically prophesized chosen warriors. This game takes a bit of a spin of if that's really a good thing or not. As we all come to find out, Lightning, our protagonist, and her party members have chosen to become these new chosen
Essa carta da Lightning tá bonitona, hein? Não, meu Deus do céu, o gato tem rabo grande, esqueci. Tô acostumado com os gatos de rabo curto. Não enrosque nada. Eu firo com o maior rabão, saiu levando meu microfone embora.
Yeah, so Final
Enchei
Fantasy
tanto o
XIII's
saco
primary
dele que
game
ele foi até
mechanic
embora.
is a mechanic called Stagger. This mechanic rewards you for exploiting your enemy's weaknesses, and once you trigger the stagger gauge, you're able to deal additional damage within combat. So it only felt right for Lightning to have a similar ability called Stagger. So let's take a look. She is a 3-mana 3/2 with the ability Stagger. Whenever she deals combat damage to a player, until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or permanent that player controls, it deals double that damage instead. And then she has these small, innocuous kind of buffs, meaning with First Strike and Trample. So if you attack with her and, let's just say, a 1/1 creature, she has the ability to deal combat damage in the First Strike phase, triggering Stagger, then buffing everything else you have on the battlefield, which is going to be quite good in red-white aggressive strategies.
And it is not often that Magic uses a mechanic for just one single card, but that is what has happened here. Gavin, what have you done?
Yeah, this is something very special. This is something that we had to do a lot of talking and a lot of convincing, and it was such a perfect
A Serra deveria
literally
ser
a
uma
perfect
carta de
fit for
sacrifício, por
these
exemplo.
two characters, Fang and Vanille. So here we are, Fang
que
and Vanille.
lindas!
Now, if you know the story of Final Fantasy XIII, these two characters are searching for each other, and they eventually find each other, and they do that well in the game, right?
Ai, dá pra ver uma outra no
you
fundo
mill
da
some cards, you
carta.
get someone back, maybe it's Fang.
Na da Fang
Fang
você
wants to
consegue
do the
ver a Vanille
graveyard,
de
and then you
fundo
get
e
to draw cards.
vice-versa.
But toward the end of the game, you might know that they fuse into Ragnarok. And so the meld ability here actually allows you to turn the cards over and turn them into Ragnarok. They're both uncommon, so you can do this in drafts. And let me tell you, if you get off Ragnarok, you are going to win. It is a very, very cool moment, and literally the perfect encapsulation of these two characters.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, now we move on to the critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV. Personally, I like to think of myself as the weird adopted uncle of Final Fantasy XIV, so thank you. And I'm so happy to be able to talk about that.
Já mostraram, Grahati,
Listen, Dylan, this is a game that everyone has an opinion about, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I just have 3 words for all of you out there. Hear, feel, think. Iconic words spoken by the Mother Crystal, spoken to all of you warriors of light out there. The critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV is often described as a theme part of Final Fantasy history, and I just absolutely love that comparison. It takes content from all the previous titles, it remixes them, updates them, and it brings them to a modern audience and introduces you to games, characters, stories from long past, and hopefully inspires you to go try out all of these amazing games this
É literalmente uma relação de amor e ódio com o 13.
Character, pick your job, and embark on a journey where you call the shots. So whether you are going up against the Asian threat, perhaps, championing Hydaelyn's will, facing off the Garlean Empire, battling through the Dragonsong War, maybe going up against the bloodthirsty Xenos, or becoming the warrior of darkness,
Uma carta que mostraram também, mostraram a Excel, que mostraram a foice dos Xenos, mas não mostraram os Xenos. Ah, não, mostraram os Xenos. A galera compartilhou lá no Discord. Que o nome da habilidade é My First Friend.
That Final Fantasy XIV is known for. Wonderful, friendly, kind, empathetic, and we thank you so much for being here and being a part of this wonderful, wonderful weekend. I can just personally attest to how amazing this game is and how profound it has been on all of us.
Daniel, this is obviously the last of the Commander deck, so I imagine you had to play a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV, didn't you?
Exactly. Unlike Dylan, and sounds like a lot of you, when I was first assigned this project, I had never actually played Final Fantasy XIV. So naturally, over the next month, I put 200 hours in with my best friend from work. Getting all the way to Shadowbringers, I played Dancer and Black Mage.
Ai, meu Deus! Você é o personagem do 14! Mano, depois que eu vi Hildebrand é uma carta, eu falei, não, perfeito. E tem um token de zumbi, que é um zumbi gentleman. Melhor coisa possível. É, Miko Childing.
And Hildebrand is not dead after all. You can find Hildebrand and all the other scions in the Final
pelo
Fantasy
menos
XIV
a
Commander
Aizen
deck,
tinha
led by none other
inteligência.
than
Ela sabia o que ela
Y'shtola
tava fazendo. A
herself.
Nashu não tem bom senso nenhum, cara.
Where as you cast your non-creature spells with mana value
Inclusive, a
3 or
gente
greater, you're going to drain the
tem
table,
todas as
draw
vezes que eu
cards, and
faço
continue
a
controlling
história
the game, as
principal
long as you manage
com o
those
Mino,
cooldowns. Enjoy
eu
the
faço
deck, please.
todas as quests do
And
Hildebrand.
whilst Y'shtola's right here, I think it's a great time to touch
Eu
base with
preciso
another of our
levar a
celebrity
Lord
artists talking
Hildebrand
about
pro
their
mundo.
specific version of Y'shtola.
E a carta da Y'shtola tá linda, né, gente?
自分がギャザリングの絵を描けるのっていうのがちょっとびっくりしまして、まあ、今回その両方のプレイヤーの橋渡しになればいいんじゃないかなと。
Nossa, que linda essa carta! Essa arte.
僕
Aguenta
割
aí,
とそ
gente,
の
já
油
volto.
彩風というか厚塗りっていう絵法で絵を描くことが多かったんですけど、やっぱりそれってギャザリングとかからかなりインスパイアを受けていました。これはテイストとしてはそのファイナルファンタジーのその14のエフェクトの綺麗さとかちょっと目指してデザインさせていただきました。ヤシュトラは強い意志を持ったキャラクターなので、そこら辺が再現できるようにしたかったっていうところがあって、ちょっと人知を超えたような雰囲気を出せればいいかなっていうところで、少し凛々しい感じの雰囲気にしました。はい。
Obviously, there are loads of cards still to show you the key. Let's start with that sweet version of Y'shtola.
Yes, so here is main set Y'shtola Ruel. She's a 6-mana 3/5 cat druid that has the ability at the beginning of your end step, blink a creature, and then if it is the first end step, you effectively take an additional end step. So you're able to gain advantage with creatures on the battlefield that have entered the battlefield triggers by blinking them, and then, just like the last Y'shtola card that we showed at the face of the commander deck, also manipulate and use end step triggers.
Eu queria dizer que a Y'shtola com essas mãozinhas assim tá parecendo uma garota mágica se transformando. E eu tô me eu ia falar, eu estou me perguntando, será que é justamente porque ela tem o trecho garota mágica dela? E meu Deus, dos sussurros mais lindos pra eles trazerem do 14 com certeza era o Odin. Eu acho que o Odin do 14 é um dos mais bonitos.
Odin likes killing stuff. Let's start with that first chapter. Blows up one of your opponent's creatures. That's neat. It's the second chapter where things get really gnarly. If you know Odin, you know you do not want to get hit by this
é meu favorito,
attack. It
o
will take you out. You'll take out your whole party. If Odin hits you during a second chapter, you lose the game.
Pô, ambas as artes ficaram
by
iradíssimas.
Odin's
Acho que
second
minha
chapter.
ativa
It
favorita
is
ainda é do
bad.
7.
If you survive that, if
Meu
your
Leviatã
creatures perhaps
favorito é do
block
14
by a little bit of
também.
time, you still have to contend with the third chapter, where Odin's owner will draw 2 cards and make each player lose 2 life. Perhaps they'll even draw another Odin. Now, earlier I mentioned that there would be some job select equipment from Final Fantasy XIV. So where are all my summoners
O
at?
Grimório do Summoner. Olha só que bonitinho aquele
Well, here is the
carbanco.
Summoner's Grimoire, another job select equipment. So when this comes into play, you make a 1/1 hero and attach it to it. Now, whenever that creature attacks, you get to put a creature from your hand on the battlefield. So it's like a little Elvish Piper for your longtime Magic fans. But if it is an enchantment card, it
Nossa,
enters,
ela não tem nada a ver com a
and
minha filha.
attacking. So that enchantment creature like Odin will come in right away. One other tiny thing I want to call out is in front of the equip ability, you'll see what it says there, Abraxas. Well, that is actually the weapon that is shown in the art there. Just a little nod to the different weapons that are used. The Final Fantasy XIV team thought it'd be really cool to actually reference the weapons that are in the art for the 14 tied job select equipment. So you'll find that on the equipment in the set.
Much of the major narrative of Final
Caralho!
Fantasy XIV
Olha
is
esse
the metaphysical
Zodiark.
conflict between Hydaelyn and Zodiark. So today we're
O
going
melhor
to show
de
you
tudo
one half of
é
that
que
conflict with Zodiark
o
on
Zodiark
board
ele tá
God.
com uma
He is
mecânica
by
da
with
luta do
indestructible
Zodiark
God, and
mesmo.
when he enters,
Que aparecem
each player
esses
sacrifices
círculos
half
aqui.
the
E tipo,
non-God
aparece
creatures
primeiro
they
os
control.
dois dos
Rounded
lados,
down.
você
Now,
fica
that's
no
an
meio,
interesting
aí
story
quando o
element. If
ataque
you're a
sai
Final
dos
Fantasy
lados,
XIV
você
player, you'll
vem
have
pra
to tell
cá
me
e aí
if you
saiu do
think that
meio.
is spot on to the
Vocês não
story that Zodiark
eu acho
might
que
be involved
sim.
in. And here we can see the moment where
Achei
I
bonito
wiped
essa arte
every
também,
raid I
viu?
was ever in doing this trial. I could not for the life of me remember this mechanic. I'm so sorry to everyone who was playing me. I was your Gunbreaker main tank, not using my cooldowns correctly.
I know there are people in the audience that are thinking, oh, there's one person from Final Fantasy XIV I'd love to see. Here he is, you thirsty people.
So,
Nossa, com certeza.
I mentioned before that you might find villains in the commander deck. Well, here's one every Final Fantasy XIV player knows. It's Emmett Selk. Now, the villains in the decks play on a little different axis. Emmett here will cast spells from your graveyard
Todas
over
as
time
cartas do
because
Emmett,
Assassins
eu acho que
know their
teve uma que eu
history,
falei que
but they will
ele
still
tava na
trigger
versão
all of the
bichonem
non-creature
nele,
matters cards
que eu não
in your
achei
deck.
a arte tão legal, mas
Okay,
nossa.
here we go. 14's done. We're now moving on to 15. We are
O
going like a rocket
Zodiac,
ship.
a ideia, tipo,
é
tipo Ifrit, cada um tem um. O Zodiac aqui é o Zodiac do 14.
In Fantasy XV, we see this dramatic tale of epic war, political conspiracies, ancient magic, opposing kings, but ultimately it puts the story of friendship
O
and
Zodiac do 14 é
stage.
só do 14, ele não é uma referência ao 12, é isso que eu quis dizer. Porque tem muita coisa que é do 14, mas ele foi feito baseado em outro Final Fantasy. Que nem a gente tem a Fran, que é realmente a Fran do 12, mas ela tem um contexto totalmente diferente dentro do 14. No caso do Zodiac, ele é o Zodiac do 14 e ele não tem ligação com nenhum outro Zodiac.
Pulling pranks at each other, making food at camp, discovering new recipes, listening to music while you're driving around. It does remind me a little bit of the four of us and how we kind of made this set. So I kind of have a soft spot for this. Excuse me if I start crying.
I'm also there as well. Thanks, guys. Okay, let's look at some cards, please. Zakiel, take us through it.
Yeah, so Noctis is the main character from Final Fantasy XV, and his most unique mechanical ability is called Armiger, which allows him to wield the 13 royal weapons that come from his lineage that are depicted in his artwork. So his ability allows you to cast artifact spells from the graveyard as a nod to the Armiger ability. And also,
ambas versões ficaram bonitas, na minha opinião.
Let's look at Arden.
But of course, opposed to Noctis is the game's antagonist,
Eiko.
Arden. And here we
Ó a carta que você tava esperando aí, todo mundo sabe disso. Ficou iradíssima essa do Arden.
While you have Arden in play, you too will be making your own army of demons to take over the world.
Okay, that's Final Fantasy XV done. We're finally here, guys. Final Fantasy XVI has arrived. I don't remember any of it. Dylan, what happened?
So just to catch you up to speed, Ben, I don't know if you've heard of this game, but this takes place at Valisthea. It is the latest entry in the mainline Final Fantasy series, and it is one of the most dark and mature titles the franchise has seen thus far. It tells this gritty and grim tale of magic and explores the notions of free
só
will.
porque não tem
We are
o
introduced to our protagonist, Clive Rossfields, when he is but a young boy. And we watch him grow over decades of in-game story as he turns into the epic hero who shall deny fate itself. And as we all know in this game, the summons are of paramount importance because Clive is someone known as a dominant, that who harbors the ability of the summons, the icons inside of them. And in the game, our heroes turn directly into their summons. I wonder if that sparked any good design ideas?
Well, it certainly did. And this is actually quite an interesting story because, well, we've been working on the set for 4 years. We said that earlier. Well, as we all know, this game came out 2 years ago. So it came out during the development process of the set. So we actually had a weekend when the game came out, and we just all started playing and trying to figure out, okay, what could go in, what could go in? This card, this card, this card. It was a great time.
Massive call out. Zakiel was
Interessante saber disso. E tipo, o jogo lançou há, tipo, 2 anos. Então, todo o processo de criação das cartas de Magic com Final Fantasy já estava em andamento. Então, eles tiveram, tipo, uma semana para correr e jogar loucamente o 16 para ver o que seriam bons personagens, boas criaturas para se transformar em cartas. E aí eles iam, ó, isso daqui, isso daqui, isso daqui.
I think it's time that we previewed some cards, and I know what you all want to see. But first, let's see a character that is incredibly important to Clive in this story.
Yeah, so this is Jill.
Que linda essa carta da Jill! Meu Deus! É lógico que ela tinha que ser uma carta azul, né?
And unsummons a creature. Then when she transforms into Shiva, she will make one of your creatures unblockable twice. Then she will tap all of your opponent's lands. They cannot stop you. And then unlike other summons that go away, she goes back to Jill, re-triggering that enter's ability to unsummon and continue using those icy powers.
Okay, now this is the moment you're all waiting for. This is the moment that I've been waiting for 2 hours.
Eu ia falar, eu achava que a Shiva do 7 é minha favorita, só que eu esqueci da Jill. A arte dela é maravilhosa. Ele vai dar um... Claro! Ai, sensacional! Óbvio que ele também se transforma no Ifrit.
I have been sweating under that thing for 2 hours for this exact moment. Let's see it on the screen.
So here we have...
Mano, as artes do Clive e do Ifrit ficaram perfeitas. E o Pensar falando, eu estava suando há 2 horas nesta roupa para isso.
On the front side, Clive, of course, has Devotion to Red. Of course, it is the only Devotion card in the main set, but it fits his character so well. Who else would be so devoted to Red as Ifrit's Dominant? Then, when you're ready, perhaps the turn after you play him, you can pay 6 mana, flip him over, he fights a creature right away. Bam! Ifrit shows up. Time for that epic boss battle. Then, you get some mana the next turn. A turn after that, he flips back to Clive, if your opponent's even still alive by then. And you get to do the whole discard your hand and drop again.
Eu também tenho esse mesmo feeling, Strider. O 7 Remake já saiu um tempão e eu sempre fico com aquele sentimento de foi 1 ano atrás. Mas eu tenho isso com muito Final Fantasy. Que a galera fala, Final Fantasy é antigo, e eu penso, sei lá, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy III, e a galera tá falando Final Fantasy X, tá ligado? E realmente o 10 é muito antigo, ele é de 2002. Ele é antigaço, 2000 eu acho. E pra mim é tipo, pô, ele não é tão velho assim. Mas eu sinto que também é um pouquinho porque ele fez parte ali da minha adolescência um pouquinho pra mais, porque eu conheci Final Fantasy quando eu já tava ali nos 13 anos. Então os Final Fantasy de Play 2 eu demorei um pouco pra adquirir, pra poder jogar, e aí eu já tava ali nos meus 16, 17, o 13 eu já tava nos meus 20, por aí, 18, mais pros 18 anos. E aí, tipo, toda a lacuna de 20 a 30 anos eu não considero, parece só um pouquinho de tempo atrás. Mostrar um pouco do 16 também, né? Veja pelo lado bom, Gilgamesh. Mostrar uma carta do Gilgamesh. Ai, gente, certeza que vai ter o Cid. Eles só não mostraram. Tipo, eles mostraram algumas das principais, mas não todas. Que nem o Andrew tava falando, como assim não mostraram carta do Laguna? Mas já saiu carta. Tem arte da carta do Laguna por aí.
With a variety of play events starting then, running through the remainder of that month.
Lançamento é dia 13 de junho, os pre-releases são do dia 6 a 12 de junho, Standard de Shadowdown do 13 a 24 de junho, Commander Party 26, eu não consegui ler tudo. E o que é isso? Pack Bundle. Ai, gente.
The first, of course, is the Pack Bundle. You might be wondering, Gavin, why is it called the Pack Bundle? Well, great news. It comes with 50 booster packs, 5 golden packs. You get this cool VV sleeve, the VV version, all kinds of awesome stuff going on.
A cara do Andrew de mas que droga, eu já tinha decidido que não ia comprar essa merda e agora eu quero comprar.
Why is this called the Pass Bundle? Well, this comes
Ó, tá vendo? Aquela arte do Noctis não mostrou aquela arte ali da direita, só mostrou da esquerda.
Will let you unlock those awesome Chocobos for Jason Tronder we saw earlier. You get a regular Chocobo at level 1, a Jace Chocobo at level 25, and the Tronder Chocobo at level 50. And then finally, we've got the Play Bundle. You can imagine why it's called that. You get tons of tokens to go play in drafts. Plus, you get Kefka, Terra, some accoutrement for them, and my personal favorite, the Moogle Companion that can hang out with you in a game. And who doesn't want a Moogle hanging out with them? You can go pre-order that on Magic the Gathering Arena right now.
Amazing. So let's moving on. Let's get you even more hyped than you are already with this.
Nossa, imagina um quadrinho, assim, um quadrinho preto com a cartinha do Vivi bem no meio.
I've been waiting for this. I'm ready as I'll ever be. Final Fantasy.
Ó, do Jumbo Cactua. Muito bom, velho. Ah, essa daí eu não tinha mostrado. Que linda, dos 3 líderes das Cracópolis. Ai, que bonitinha.
Draw swords. Cast spells. play heroes and villains from all 16 core games.
Ai, meu fofinho.
People are depending on me.
Years I've waited for this chance.
Ai, maravilhoso. Gente, conforme vai tendo mais artes, vão anunciando mais, mostrando mais, eu vou voltar a fazer vidinhos pra gente reagir. Eu tô pensando, em vez de fazer vidinhos, abrir stream. Ainda tô cogitando a possibilidade. Porque eu gosto de ficar trocando ideia com vocês, porque vocês manjam mais de Magic que eu. Eu só manjo de Final Fantasy. Vocês manjam de Magic, que a gente se junta e a gente aprende. Vocês aprendem de Final Fantasy, eu aprendo de Magic, todo mundo sai feliz.
Who might not want to get involved.
All right, folks. When you think of the essential ingredients of what makes Final Fantasy, what comes to mind? You've got your classics,
O Sombra falou, só eu acho engraçado mostrar um Balfir e a Fran, e ao invés da... Eu acho que você quis dizer a do Van, né? A do Bart seria a do Final Fantasy V. E, mano, todo mundo sabe que o Balfir e a Fran são os protagonistas. O Van é só mascote pra... como é? Descontrair.
Okay, folks, this is how we're going to do it. Remember I split the
Todo
room
dia
up
vai
in
ter
two?
spoiler, mas o esquema é a gente juntar algumas pra comentar de uma paulada só, sabe?
Okay, this side of the room, I'm going to say a number.
Eu tenho que tirar um dia da semana pra abrir stream. E aí a gente faz o que a gente quiser. A gente comenta a fofoca de Final Fantasy, a gente joga o 14 e todo mundo junto, a gente faz uma parizinha pra fazer alguma coisa, a gente comenta de cartas.
Okay, you ready? Obviously you're not
Exato,
going to say two the whole
o
time.
Van
That would be
é
insane.
só ator pago.
Okay? Don't. I think there's quite a few people watching at home. They're going to be so annoyed. We've just stayed on 2 for hours. Okay, are you ready with me? Here we go.
Ai, que lindo esse Cid! Ai, são todos os Cids! 4, 5, 6. Caralho, que irado! Meu Deus, é o 7, ficou muito bom! Ai, o do 8 não, 8 a gente passa. Caralho, do 9 ficou pica, viu? 10. O do 11. 12. 13. 14. Um dos melhores Cids do 15. E o do 16. Mano, que foda! Que foda! Você pode ter um deck de Cids!
I hope you've had fun. I hope you are going to spend lots of money on this.
Mano.
Please do. Thank you for coming. I want to thank the incredible
Mano, eu tô imaginando a pessoa que vem com um deck de Cids, a pessoa que vem com um deck de Chocobo com Bart. Dá pra fazer deck meme, tá ligado? Dá pra fazer deck bom, é lógico, dá pra você fazer um negócio. Mas você pode fazer um deck meme só de zoeira, porque eu consigo imaginar você indo jogar com a pessoa e ela só puxa Cid. Você fica, que porra de deck é esse? Eu achei sensacional, eu adorei. Gente, obrigada por ter vindo me acompanhar nessa loucura. Eu tô adorando reagir às coisinhas de Magic com Final Fantasy. Eu tava falando pro Moisés, já peguei meus deckzinhos aqui que eu tinha ganhado de presente do Araújo, e vou usar eles pra aprender melhor, porque eu não pretendo voltar ativa 100% no Magic, mas eu quero saber o que eu tô fazendo. Eu quero conseguir ter meu deck de Final Fantasy e saber jogar bonitinho com ele. Eu quero ter um fichário ali pra colocar as artes, minhas artes favoritas. Eu quero ter uma caixinha pra guardar as demais, sabe? Então, eu quero. Eu vou ter condições? Não sei, gente. Aí é o problema daí do futuro, não é mesmo? Mas é isso, gente. Traga um deck de Moogles. Tem algumas cartinhas de Moogles, mas não mostraram vários Moogles que eles fizeram com Chocobos e Cids. Cid com Chocobos e Bartos. Não preciso de mais nada. Nossa, lindo demais, né? Eu tô pra fazer um dia de live, pelo menos na semana, só que não está sendo fácil. Só digo isso. Mas aguardem que terá mais conteúdos ainda nessa vibe de usar meu conhecimento no Final Fantasy para trazer informações que podem ser interessantes, úteis pra galera que é do Magic e não conhece tanto aí de Final Fantasy. E teremos novidades de conteúdos gerais aí na Moogles. Eu tô indo aos pouquinhos. Nossa, verdade! Eu esqueci que o Mog vira rei no 13.3. Ah, não, a gente precisa de um token de Moogle. Seria sensacional. A do Vivi ficou muito lindinha. Gente, eu queria ficar mais conversando, porém tem um compromisso agora em seguida. Então não vou poder estender muito essa live, mas gostaria demais de agradecer todo mundo que compareceu, que veio aqui. Galera que veio aqui pela Twitch, eu tenho o canal no YouTube, que também é MOOGLE'SCAVE, que eu tô postando essas reações, comentários de Magic, as novidades ou vazamentos, tá tudo lá bonitinho. A gente tem nosso Discord, onde a gente costuma comentar, a galera posta lá algumas das cartas que vazaram, entre aspas, né? Que foram anunciadas, que saíram nas redes sociais. A galera tá compartilhando lá no Discord, caso vocês queiram dar uma olhada. E todas as minhas redes sociais é @MOOGLE'SCAVE. Instagram é onde eu mais compartilho besteirinha. Então, tipo, fui em alguma coisinha, comprei alguma coisa. Se eu comprar alguma coisa do Magic, provavelmente eu vou postar. Quando eu compro coisas pra minha coleção de Final Fantasy, também posto lá nos stories. Eu estou tentando voltar pro Twitter, mas desde que o Twitter caiu lá atrás, eu perdi o costume e tô tentando voltar agora. Então, principais redes sociais é isso, gente. YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, mais ou menos, Twitter e TikTok também. Tamo contem em tudo quanto é lugar. Sigam lá. É isso. Beijinhos. Tchau, tchau pra vocês. E tenham um bom dia.